We're back in studio with another episode of the Say the Boot First podcast. A lot going on since we were last here. Phil's season started. Sixers in the playoff. Draft is 2 weeks away. We're going to have a special guest making a reappearance here, John Gonzales, around 8:30. Hang out, see what we have to say. I'm sure Smitty's got something to say. You're listening to the Say the Boot First podcast. Boo, 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 boo. Boo, 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 boo. There it is.
Smitty, that one's got a girl on Smitty.
He's
starting
to like it. I think it's his ringtone. We're back with another episode of the Say the Boot First podcast, coming to you live this beautiful Thursday evening, really, honestly, beautiful Thursday evening from lovely downtown Willett Grove, the fantastic Crackbell Production Studios. I'm Jim Marcus. To my left, we have the elder statesman, Donald Kennedy Deke Martin.
What's going on, James?
What's going on? Beat the Deke. To his left.
You couldn't wait to say that.
Couldn't wait. Oh, man, my mind, we got something going there. To his left, we have the infamous, the AP of me, Ryan Smitty.
What's up, buddy?
Come on, Smitty.
It's just a pleasure to be around such wonderful individuals
Greatness.
who know how to talk about sports.
In greatness.
Looking forward to our eloquent conversations.
Always. Words are important. To his left, the man with the fantastic hair, the Don.
The Dollar Dog King.
The Dollar Dog Don.
Oh, my God.
DJ Martin. What's going
What's
on,
up?
DJ?
Did you start that food fight down at the stadium the other night?
I did
No.
not.
To his left, just hanging out, doing what he does on the phone, Snapchatting, TikToking, Rick rolling with a fresh cut. The youngest Martin, Andrew Martin.
So you just made him
So-
blush.
Is he getting a little red, a little rosy in the cheeks?
You got away.
To his left, we've got the youngest Marcus, Brody Man.
What's up?
What's up? And back from a week off in Jamaica, the man behind the glass, keeping us live and on the air, Money Moss. What up, Nick?
Yeah, man.
There we go. There we go. How was it? You enjoy yourself?
Oh, absolutely. It
No
was great.
kids there?
No kids.
Just
at
you
all.
and the wifey?
Just me and the wife.
Fantastic.
There you go.
I'm jealous.
Absolutely.
Very jealous. Saw some of the pictures. Beaches look nice.
Yeah,
Water
it was
looked beautiful.
ridiculous.
Drinks look cold and frosty.
Yep.
Place better to be.
Yes, sir.
Except in Philly, right? Fantastic place to be.
When we're winning,
What do you
Baseball
Yeah.
season started. Sixers playoffs. It is now the time
all of a
to
sudden,
care.
Jim,
It is now the time to
comes in
care.
tonight with a Sixers shirt on, be like, I've been a fan all year, but
Set
I
it up
ain't watched
now.
a damn game.
I said it from day one of this season. It didn't matter. Get to the playoffs.
He has a George
I have
jersey.
not wavered. Get to the playoffs. Now it matters. But we'll save some of that for our guest. Gonzo's a big basketball guy. I want to get his thoughts on it. Let's talk about the Phils first. Phil started off, like we do here in Philly. You either hate the team, you love the team, we're the worst, we're the best. World Series, last place.
Crybabies right next to me.
Every pitcher sucks. We can't
Right.
hit.
Right.
Don't talk about my kid like that.
No, I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you. You've been crying since they're 4-8, like it's the end of the year.
Well, they might be 4-9 after.
That's all right. It's fine.
It was a rocky start.
Last
It is a
year-
rocky start.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
It is ongoing.
Who have they played so far that is going to be a decent team? The Yankees?
Yes.
Maybe just the Yankees. The Rangers aren't good. I don't think the Rangers are going to be that good.
Marlins
Reds.
always seem to kind of hang around till midseason and then
Reds
fall
are
off.
gonna finish probably last in the Central Division. Marlins probably finish, Nationals will, but Marlins will finish fourth in our division, the East. So yeah, just the Yanks.
Panic button. Too early.
No, not yet.
No.
Wait.
Do I need to read the text?
I'm not.
If you want to read the text, you can read it
Concerned.
from Baby,
There's a big difference
Crybaby
between being
next to us.
concerned
No,
and panic.
you were
I am not panicking. I'm concerned.
DJ.
I'm not concerned.
Is he
I'm
bad?
a little upset with Thompson. Like I don't understand why he just can't let Marsh play. I don't understand the concept.
I don't get that either.
Flopping in the lineup.
Well, I guess the to you.
Yeah,
I don't know.
just put a lineup together and stick with it. Just,
I the whole analytics piece of lefty righty and doing that. If you guys are hot, why move them around?
exactly.
I mean, when you have a hot right fielder.
And not
Making
everyone's hot
contact.
right now. That's the
Is it
problem.
warm out there?
The timely hitting is just brutal. I mean, I think tonight they had the bases loaded. They didn't score one run.
Who's up to bat when the bases are loaded?
I didn't see, but
It wasn't there.
Castellanos did get an RBI tonight.
No, but
Did he? Attaboy.
this is where you see like the problem in the lineup, right? Like Stott 396, Turner 327, Schwarber 200, Castellanos 298, Remuto 209. They're killing. Schwarber
had a slow,
are
yeah.
killing this team right now.
Yeah, it's just
Schwarber, you don't. I don't expect him to hit for average, right?
He
didn't
used
hit
to,
for
and
average
with the
last year.
shift, yeah, but he's had in the past.
that's a little concerning because the shift.
Right, he's still
shift
bad
this
200.
year. There should be guys. The averages should be up.
I mean, it's great that he's got 4 home runs, but that's it.
I'm a firm believer in getting a lineup, setting the lineup, and just letting them play.
That's what I was saying.
Let them grow into their role,
Yeah.
into their spot in the lineup, and just leave them alone.
Right.
Unless the lineup needs a shakeup or you need to move a guy out of a spot up or down, just leave it alone.
But
How many lineups have they had? What is it? 13 games?
Yeah.
How many lineups have they had? I bet you they've had a different lineup 10 games out of 13.
I don't think it's that much.
I bet you it is.
It's close to 10.
close.
Yeah, just because of the players that
Trey-
whether they move people up or down the lineup, they
you're
move
ready-
people
you're
in and
ready-
out.
Trey Turner
you're
listed
ready to
as a
move
leadoff
Bohm to the
guy.
2 or 3 hole.
What's that?
You want to move Bohm to the 2 or 3 hole?
Yeah, why not?
Because you got Turner and you got Castellanos sitting
Turner's
there.
not here for another month. And I'm not.
Turner's batting 327. He signed an 11-year deal. Not Bryce Harper. Trey
Yeah. So
Turner.
Who'd
You
you
just said
say?
he hasn't here. He said he hasn't been here for a month.
no,
Turner.
Harper's not going to be here
Yeah,
for a
but
month.
Turner's your 2-hole hitter right now, and Stott's your leadoff hitter. So where do you
Yeah,
fit
but
Bohm?
you
Except
signed
when he's
You
not.
signed Turner to be your leadoff.
Why
hitter.
can't Harper
Well,
be?
You assume that.
Why can't Harper
not
be
a-
I
clean
think
up?
the whole league assumed that.
Trey Turner assumed that he said
Harper
it.
is your 3-hole hitter, and that's where he's always been in this lineup. They're not moving him to 4. He's a natural 3.
Yeah, you don't move Harper to 3
Okay.
or 4.
And Castellanos is hitting great at cleanup.
And put Bowman for. You got to get him in the top half of the lineup.
I don't see why you have to have Stott. I like Stott leading off because he gets on base, but I was fine leaving him in the bottom of the
Yeah.
lineup
It's-
because you need that production down there.
You really want your number 2 guy. Granted, he hit 46 home runs last year. Great. Guess what? He's not hitting 46 again this year.
Who?
You re-
You're right.
Sure,
He's
but-
going to hit 48.
Yeah,
do you
right.
really
He's
want a
ready to
guy
go
who
for a
strikes
run.
out 200 plus times batting 2?
No, but
Seriously?
he batted leadoff last year
Where
and
do you
struck
want him
out
to bat?
30.
Where do
and
you
they
I
made-
know, and it was the wrong place for him to be.
So they went to the
You're
World
wasting.
Series.
You're wasting 46 home runs in the leadoff spot.
They
Look
went-
at the
They went
RBIs.
to the World Series.
Look,
Oh my
I know, but
God,
look at the
dude.
RBIs. The RBIs
Hey,
are on the
wait,
100.
hold on.
This guy's got to be 115 or more with
And this
RBIs.
guy's telling me he's not panicking or crying. What's it sound like?
No. We're
You're
talking about
panicking.
last year. I'm not panicking.
You are.
You don't put a guy that hits 46 home runs in leadoff.
I'm not going to question methods that got them to a World Series.
I hear you, but
You're questioning a manager,
a
completely
leadoff
different-
hitter does not strike out 200
And-
plus times.
and that's why.
That's
And
insane.
that's why you're doing a podcast from Roll Grove with 10 viewers.
Fight me.
I'm questioning why Trey.
Hey, now
What are we up to, 9?
you were at 20 at one point,
Yeah,
and
don't-
then you
don't
started
offend our
talking, and then
audience.
they just rolled.
That's fine.
Flan's on here.
Ask Flan's going to
He
tell.
said it's the pitching.
Thank you, Flannery. They will be fine. I agree. Me and AB always agree on everything. and
Yeah,
it's-
yes,
it's
you
It's
do.
nice of
Yeah.
AB to join us virtually.
Oh,
Never in studio though.
I don't understand why Trey Turner's not the leadoff. You can't sell me on that. That's bullshit.
I
He's
mean,
been a leadoff hitter his whole career,
No, he
right?
hasn't. No, he
Yes, he
hasn't. No, not his whole career. No,
Not
he
his whole
hasn't.
career, but
Maybe
he was
7 or
at
8
two.
games.
he got these.
No, he was.
he
a
got-
He
two.
got these numbers as a leadoff hitter.
He got these contracts as a leadoff
No, he
hitter.
didn't.
He
a
was brought
two-hole.
here to be the leadoff
Dude, he
hitter.
was
brought here to
2-0
be
in
a leadoff.
Washington.
In
You're a two-hole.
Washington, that was two teams ago.
Dude, he was a 2-0 hitter, and
You're bringing up things 2
he
teams
was
ago.
two.
Dude.
He was a 2-0 hitter with the Dodgers. He wasn't leadoff last year.
Mookie Betts was what?
Was
Isn't he?
leadoff?
I
I don't think
know
Mookie
about that.
Betts is
Dude, Trey
leadoff.
Turner was your 2-0 hitter with the Dodgers. Look it up.
I'm not looking it up because I'm not gonna. I'll be honest. I don't care enough. I
Right, so
care
you
about
guys
now.
are sitting there saying he's a
He's-
leadoff hitter.
He's the
You're
leadoff hitter on this team.
You're
You
assuming
paid
He's the
him to be
leadoff
the
hitter on
leadoff.
this team.
You're assuming he's the leadoff
Dude,
hitter.
the
I'm
opening
assuming you're a
press
two-hole.
conference with Trey Turner was
1 or 2 hole. Where's he been hitting
he
all
said
year?
leadoff.
No, dude.
They all said leadoff.
Dude.
Schwarber
Dombrowski.
personally called him and said, "Hey, man, like you can have the leadoff
Okay,
spot."
well, obviously they wasn't working, so they switched it up. I'm not going to question Topper.
I mean, it's not working right now, so why can't you?
Is it not working?
Yeah, they're 4-9.
Dude,
Okay,
the 4-9.
And how many games was Turner to lead off? Go look at that.
They're probably
When they
Most games.
When they
7 or
scored
8.
15 runs, who was batting leadoff?
Not
Turner.
when they scored 15 runs. It was not Turner. It was Stott.
Stott. Right. So he's not your. That's what I'm saying.
That's
Leave
an
him at the 2-hole.
aberration. You're
But-
not going to score 15 runs every night.
When
But-
Turner's leadoff doesn't mean they can't produce either.
I think-
Turner's, he's
I think Turner in the 2-hole is fine. It gives you a little power too. Schwarber 3 for right now.
I'm fine with Schwarber 3 or 4.
But when Harper comes back, Schwarber is going to be 5, and he should be.
Castellanos probably drops down too.
I don't know.
Yeah, he should
If he keeps hitting the way he's hitting,
drop off the face of the earth.
you're just wrong, man. You're just upset because it's like he's having a good year, and I know you're rooting for him to be bad.
I just hope that
I'm not
these
rooting for him
guys
to be
aren't
bad. I'm
just. I think that's the problem right now. They're just hangover from the World Series, and it's a little stagnant start. But
Yes.
dude, that's
No.
a quick
So,
off season.
I wouldn't mind a lineup of Turner, Stott, Harper, Schwarber, and then Baum. Because then you got protection.
Bomb. Who the hell
Boom.
is Bomb?
Boom. You get
You can't-
protection for Schwarber
You
with
can't
Boom.
get us freaking
where are you
National
putting
Guard
JT in
here
there?
and keep saying the word bomb.
JT can go 6.
6.
You're gonna have the SWAT at
Yeah,
Nate's
you
door
keep saying
soon.
bomb. It's boom.
Boom.
Thank you.
Not bomb.
he said
It's BOHM, not BO.
I know, Angel.
All right, so we got guys on here. My dad and Flannery both saying it's the pitching.
I agree.
I agree.
It is, but it's also timely hitting is not
the
timely hitting.
bullpen's not what it's supposed to be. Soto
The
hasn't
bullpen is going to
performed,
be busted by
but
the All-Star break.
everybody needs to
They keep
relax.
going the way they are.
Everything needs to relax about Kimbrel. Kimbrel will be fine. I ain't worried
Yeah.
about him. I'm worried about
Kimbrel?
yes.
Soto.
Soto, he's been okay.
He will be
this,
fine.
this is
You
why
know
I got
who I'm worried
why they
about?
traded
How about-
him.
Dominguez.
How about we put Alvarado
closer?
as the closer?
I was just going to say, who's our closer?
Alvarado.
Should be Alvarado.
Didn't
Alvarado
Alvarado
is-
just screw up yesterday against the Marlins? Wasn't he?
It's his first screw up of the season.
He screwed up in Game 5 of the World Series.
Of
Dude,
the season,
They
I
all
said.
screwed
Great.
up.
He gave up a freaking grand slam.
They all screwed up in the World
oh my
Series.
dude, who gave up the?
Real Muto stopped showing up. Bryce didn't show up.
They had a lead before.
Castellanos
Alvarado
made that
came
one
out.
catch.
Castellanos didn't
Wheeler
show
was
up.
No, he made that one
Wheeler
catch.
was rolling, right or wrong.
Huh?
Wheeler was rolling, and they took him out. What happened? Who
They
came
were
in and
all
gave up the
they were
home
all
run?
gassed,
Yeah, the
dude.
World Series was just
They were gassed.
Alvarado's
Not
a good
good.
pitcher, but I don't think he's too wild to be a closer right now. He's got to ease himself.
But
in.
who's our closer then?
Kimbrel?
There's
No,
committee.
no, Kimbrel's not a closer anymore.
It's by committee.
Okay.
Sorry.
He's going to get his
Those days are gone.
He's going to get his 400th, and he's going to be
Once-
mid relief.
Ask Flan if
Once
if
Nick
Kimbrel's
Nelson
a
comes
closer.
back. Nick Nelson.
Nelson.
And we still have
Does your dad think Kimbrel's a closer?
Probably not.
who's hurt that we have coming back? He's been a bullpen guy
In
for
the
a while.
pen,
Not Brogdon. He's been here. Maybe it is Brogdon, but
No, Brogdon sucks. He's giving up runs too.
Flan saying let
not Dominguez.
Kimbrel close.
Thank you. Damn, AB.
Seems
Thank
like
you.
seems like somebody knows what he's talking about.
no,
guys.
Kimbrel's getting slapped around.
There's
a little
another
bit.
bullpen guy that we have that he hasn't
Don't
pitched
say
yet.
that.
I'm trying to think.
I know who you're talking about, but
I'm
Clay
gonna look
Condry.
Who?
Clay Condry.
Oh my god!
He's hurt. He hasn't pitched in a couple of years, but he's
David?
What?
No, I know.
What, the guy they got from the Naval Academy? Song?
no.
He's hurt.
He hasn't pitched in a couple of years.
He just said he had Tommy John's 2 years ago. I don't know. I'm just
Nate, I need that link for Gonzo.
Oh yeah, okay.
I don't. Damn. Maybe
Was
I'm
it
thinking of somebody
I know
else.
who you're talking about too.
Because right now the bullpen is McKinley Moore, Andrew Vasquez, Andrew Bellotti, Connor Brogdon,
And
Craig
It's
Kimbrel,
better be Painter too.
Gregory Soto. Painter's
Painter's
not
not
going
going
to
in
play
the
this year.
bullpen.
Jose Alvarado, Sir Anthony Dominguez.
Are you bringing
Anthony
Painter up?
Dominguez is
They
one
have
more-
Dominguez on MLB.com listed as a closer.
Yeah, but he's not been good either.
So there's that. Hey, Dominguez was born a day after me. 3 years earlier, though.
Lovely.
Fun fact.
All I have to say is Nick Castellanos is proving everyone wrong here.
He's
I
not
called
proving- He's not proving anybody wrong.
Oh.
What's he done?
Oh,
What's he done?
He's up.
Hit a bunch of doubles?
that's
Dude.
better than we're ever gonna do.
He's doing what
Okay,
he's
but I'm
doing.
not getting paid. I'm not getting paid million,
I'll,
hundred
I'll
million.
take
to
a
do
bunch
it.
of doubles with some home runs.
His pitch selection's better. He's not striking out.
He's
as
not
much.
swinging at a slider 10 feet off the plate.
Yeah, instead he's watching the balls go across the middle of the plate, not taking the bat off his shoulder.
When he does take the bat off, his
He
shoulder-
misses.
No, he hits the ball in the
Dude.
gap.
There are no April birthdays on the Phillies.
No one cares.
I thought Andrew Painter was. In
I
April.
could give two craps about the
Oh,
Phillies.
no.
Dude, he
Right
has
here.
7 walks this year. Do you know how many walks Castellanos had last year?
2.
No, I'm asking Jim, since Jim's saying he's not more patient. Jim,
I
how
don't
many
really care.
walks did Castellanos have last year?
How did he hit in the World Series?
38.
None of them hit good in the World
29,
Series.
and he's already got 7 this year. That's a huge improvement.
Yeah.
Huge improvement. Huge.
Taking pitches.
Honestly, it's impressive that they won 2 games in that World Series because none of them hit well.
Yes, they did the one game.
Yeah, one game they hit 6 home runs because
Yeah, 6 home runs.
Lance McCullers
Scored 7 runs.
didn't know how to pitch. He
Right,
kept
the-
explains
tipping it.
why-
The rumors
always-
floating around about Harper coming back and playing first.
I think it's
What are you guys
ridiculous.
thinking about
Yeah,
that?
you're wasting.
Why is that? Why is that?
Why? Yeah, why?
Because
is that
his
ridiculous?
arm and his defense is being wasted at
no,
first
it's
base.
His
not.
arm is not fully healed from Tommy John.
I know,
so-
but when it
So
is,
why put him in the game?
Oh my god, dude.
he needs to be in right field.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he does.
No, he doesn't.
Hey, is this real?
I don't think they understand.
I think
DH or
both
first?
sides of the argument is ridiculous.
DH or first?
DH.
DH,
DH, and that's
yes.
it. Don't put him on the
First.
field.
Why?
Don't.
First.
Why?
Why
Do you need
Who
him?
do you want to throw out to Derek Hall? That dude stinks. Send him back down to AAA.
Let's say they make it back to the World Series, and Harper can start playing the field, or we'll say
Then
Harper.
Schwarber can go to
We'll
first.
say Harper. Oh,
No.
no, dude.
No,
Stop.
you want to say
No.
post
You
All
send
Star break?
Realmuto to first.
Fine.
I don't
He
think at
wasn't
all.
supposed to come back until June.
He
Now they're
said
rushing him back.
Yeah, he said himself he doesn't know if he'll play right field
Yeah.
at all this season.
Right, so they're trying him at first.
You think they're rushing him back, or Bryce is rushing him?
No, I don't
I think it's a
Bryce-
little bit of both.
I think
Yeah,
it's
I think it's a
Bryce.
little bit. Of
I think it's a
both,
little bit
too.
of both.
You think he's not ready?
No, I think he's.
Why would you?
They
The
think
dude's got
he-
what, 8 more years left on his
Yeah,
contract?
and you
Yeah.
just got Tommy John surgery. What, 5 months ago?
No, it's been more than that.
6 months ago? That's like a year-long recovery.
Not for a hitter, for a pitcher.
Not for a
yes.
hitter, but still.
well,
like,
then he's probably right on target.
No,
Dude.
he's DH all season for me.
First base.
You don't have
Would
to
be
throw
perfect.
the
You
ball
can put
far.
a lump at first base.
exactly. You put Reese
But there
Hoskins-
is a
we
chance
had
that you'll
Reese
have-
Hoskins at first
Yeah,
base.
there's
Come
a
on.
chance you'll have to throw it. There's a chance you'll get run into. There, I mean, who knows what's going to
There's a
happen?
chance you can get he can get hurt sliding as the DH.
Yeah, but he's doing the sliding, and rather than somebody sliding into him,
Dude,
No
what-
one
how
slides
many
in the
people-
first. They
Oh my
run through
God,
first.
dude.
That's not true.
Dude,
There are the
Yeah, that is
occasional
not true.
morons that slide in the first.
Oh yeah, because they're more.
I'm not saying guy runs
the
through
only
him.
part that I'd be more worried about is you remember you saw the
Well,
injury
no, Jim, the bigger
where you
bases.
catch the ball and the guy
That's
runs
true.
through.
Bigger bases.
Runs through
Yeah,
his arm. I'll give you
Holz's,
that.
that's-
That's the only one I'll give you.
yeah,
Not throwing. From first base, you're only throwing the home. Or
Speaking of
across
the bigger
diamond.
bases, are you
you
fine
can
with
throw it
the rule-
across the
with
third, maybe
Yeah, that's
Are
not that
you
far.
are you fine with the new rule changes?
the pitch count.
Yes.
The
All
pitch
of
clock.
them. All of them. Pitch clock.
Love it.
The bigger bases.
Love it.
The pickoffs. You only get 2.
Yeah.
The
Mm.
That takes
times
a lot of time.
times called at home plate. I think it's all crap.
I do too. They're taking away from.
Actually, the bigger bases I'm okay with. 'cause
You're
that-
I wish
that
we
can
could go
be-
back to
The
the
only-
show last year when DJ said baseball is a dying sport and we need to do things to change it up.
It is, but you don't.
Yeah.
You don't.
You don't go
you don't
this
affect,
way.
You don't affect the game. A game.
I think
It
this
doesn't
much.
affect the game.
It does.
Yes, it does.
Yes,
How?
it does.
How many outs are in the game?
Knocks off a half hour of the game.
Look how many stolen bases are occurring.
Okay, that makes the game more exciting. People on
It
base.
does, and
more
I
runs.
don't have a
Wait.
problem with stolen bases. Don't get me wrong,
All the averages are up. You're I'm assuming
because they took the shift
I'm
off.
assuming
That
runs
helps.
per game are up too. ERAs are up.
Okay.
You
Okay.
can't-
Because is it right that you can only get 2 chances to pick off a guy?
No.
No, that is
What
so
was-
stupid.
What
That's
was the
such a
problem with the
stupid rule.
game?
Answer the question. Is it right?
No, that's the one that
It's
I'm
bullshit.
not.
And
Okay
then he
with.
gets the base.
That one.
It's
Yeah, you
bullshit.
shouldn't be giving away free bases because it's the same as putting a guy on second.
Exactly. That's
I'm-
what
I'm
cost
not-
the Phillies
I don't
a
like
game
that one.
the other day.
But the
pitch
Yes,
the
it
count.
biggest issue was the game was slow and there wasn't enough scoring. It was a boring game.
It's
Now,
baseball.
guys are
That's
getting
the
on
beauty of
base.
the game.
But you guys see,
They
the
want-
argument
they wanna
is
have their
I want to
cake
be
and eat it
there.
too.
I want to walk around the stadium. I want to enjoy the experience. You're not enjoying the game. The game itself is not being impacted.
Do you go to the Eagles game and walk around the stadium?
No.
Yeah, you're there
You
to watch.
do it baseball.
No, you're not. You're there to watch a game. You're not paying to
I
walk
don't.
around the
I'm
concourse.
there, I watch the game.
I'm not paying to walk around a concourse of a stadium
Oh
and
my
wait in
god,
line.
dude! There's nothing different other than that the game's
Still
at
54
a
outs.
bigger space, as
They didn't
faster
cut
pace,
time.
which is great.
No.
7 ounce.
I
No.
I
Both
need it.
sides.
Yo, do
I
you
think the
need-
pickoff
do you
rule
need
is
somebody to sit
ridiculous.
there and go like this?
No.
I didn't.
Yeah, every
mind.
time
Hold
you're
on,
going to answer a
dude.
question, Smitty, I want you to roll your sleeves up.
How many times?
Adjust your
How many times
headphones.
did that happen in a
Hold
game
on.
though, or in
All
a
the
bat?
time.
Too
At bat.
many.
Are you kidding me? Manny Machado takes 30 seconds.
Well,
to
you
jump in
name
his
one
glove.
guy out of how many
Harper
No,
does
players?
it.
Harper does it. Guys stepping
No.
in
How
and out
many
of the
times does
box.
it
See,
happen?
that's the
Honestly,
problem.
How many
You-
times does that happen?
A lot.
Pitchers
Every
stepping
at-bat?
off the mound.
Every at bat.
Tightening the batting glove, stepping
Every
up.
other.
Harper's notorious
I
for
bet
that.
you the average at bat now is probably, I'll say, between every pitch and every foul ball, I'll say it's
All right,
probably like
this is
2
enough
minutes.
Phillies talk. All right.
Like, what is it really that much impact on a game? It's like a 2-minute at bat. Is that really like your attention span?
Dude, I'm fine with the game being a little faster paced and going to bed.
You
Decent
lost a
time.
half an
Some
hour.
of us are working professionals at the
So
game's
am
done.
I.
Okay, then shut up.
Dude, it's
You're
baseball.
taking away from
You're
the
not
beauty of the
supposed to
game.
have a
What do you?
Shut up,
What?
and the
What
beauty
part
of
of it?
the
What?
game.
You're
Yeah.
not supposed to have
Explain-
a clock in baseball.
What are you
Exactly.
guys
Right.
like?
You
Explain the
That's
beauty.
the only-
What are you missing?
it's the
They're,
only game.
they're pitching against
He
the
doesn't
clock
get to
now.
see Harper tug his nuts 10 times.
No.
That doesn't happen.
He
as
doesn't
much as
do
it
that. He
does.
fixes his gloves and
You're-
puts his helmet
You're
down.
exaggerating how many times that actually
Oh
happens
my-
in a game.
Dude, I guarantee you, if you
Smitty,
roll back to
Smitty,
next year, or
Smitty,
last year, watch some
let
of
me
the
ask you a
playoff games,
question.
how long it takes them to
Smitty,
get a
what-
bat.
What's the only sport without a clock?
What?
What was the only sport without a clock?
Golf. Another stupid. That's not a
Golf's
sport.
not a sport.
It's not a sport. I take
Baseball
that
was
back.
Tennis?
Baseball was the only sport without a clock.
Tennis?
And it was a dying sport.
It was not
Hey,
a
well, I
dime.
will
was a
agree
dying
that it
sport.
was
It
dying.
was a
And
dying
didn't he say
sport.
things need to change?
It did,
Yes.
but you don't impact the game this much.
You're
Yeah.
not impacting the game.
You're taking the strategy
Yes,
out of the
you
game.
are.
You're
What
speeding up
strategy?
the game.
Slowing down the game
The
to your
strategy.
advantage. There's no strategy to
The
pick in your
shift.
ass.
The shift.
I mean, what, you get less dingleberries?
The
Little
pro-
smuts
the
on the
problem-
ball to give you a little cut on that breaker.
Part of the problem with the game was it became specialized. You had to have pitchers pitch to one batter, sometimes for one pitch.
Oh, my God.
What?
Okay.
And then
I'm
you
okay
had to
with
take
do
him
away with
out.
that.
Then you had to take him out and put somebody else in.
That
Right.
or
Then they
Now-
changed the rule where
They have to face
if
three
you
batters.
you have
Yep.
to
What's
face
wrong
3
with that?
batters.
What's wrong
I
with
like that.
If your dude gives up back-to-back home runs,
he sucks.
you're
Be better.
screwed.
Be better. Look, I'm going to
It's-
sound like the old man here. Satchel Paige. Did he have mid relievers that came in and
No, that's another thing. When did the unwritten rule become that a starting pitcher can't go past the 6th inning?
well, you're
That's-
here
that-
arguing for a
that's
guy to pitch to one batter.
No, I'm not. I don't like that. I
Oh, I
didn't
thought
like
you
that.
were.
No,
Okay, all right.
no. With these guys that can't go more than 5 or 6 innings, that's nuts.
Well, if they're getting
Or,
rocked.
or the magic number is 100 pitches. Why can't a pitcher pitch over 100 pitches? Why?
Because it hurts their arm too much.
Because they're trying to
It's bullshit. It didn't bother the pitchers
They're
30,
making-
40, 50 years ago. 100 years ago. Guys used to pitch a doubleheader 100
There
years
wasn't
ago.
as much money in the
Jim,
game.
it's
No, you're right. And that's
longevity.
what it comes
That
down
is
to.
longevity.
All
To
about
see
money.
The beauty of the game. We
Yes,
got to
it's the
restore.
experience.
It's the
beauty.
experience.
So you go
It
to a
is.
baseball game or a Phillies game, and
I
you're
was
like,
at a game. I
I'm
thought
going
it
to
was
watch a
fine.
game for 3 innings, and then I'm going to take my walk around the
It
stadium.
was
That's 3/4 of the stadium.
I think you're wrong.
AB's looking around
think
for the
you're wrong.
milkshake thing, like at the Sixers game. He spends half of the game.
I think you're wrong.
People were going to Ash Bernalli.
I
You got to go stand for hot dogs for 45
That
minutes.
was
I got to get my
bullshit.
crab fries for 45 minutes.
yeah, but you do that
It's
before the game.
That's the experience.
Do you go to a Phillies game and you're sitting there for
Dude,
3
I
innings?
was
All right,
just
I'm
at
time
the-
for my
Dude, he
walk.
can't sit anywhere for
I know.
3
I
hours.
was just at the home opener. I thought it was great. It
Did you
wasn't
get
that
up and
long.
walk around the stadium?
No,
Right, you're there to watch the game, right?
right, but it was
Did
good
you pay-
pace.
did you
It
pay
was a
for your-
good pace?
Did you pay for your ticket to watch the game?
I mean, I didn't pay for my ticket,
or-
but I
all
was
right,
at,
you know what I mean.
Sounds like me now.
No, I hate it, but like
No,
I'm
dude.
being honest. Like
No, I don't
That's
have
what
a
happens
problem.
when
With
you
it. You're
live
not
with
going to
someone.
change me on it. All right. The only thing I'll agree with you.
I was fine with shortening this amount of games because then games become more important. Like right
Listen,
now,
dude,
right now they're not
hold
as
on.
important.
The only thing
I think that would have helped
the only
baseball
thing
much
I'll
more
agree with
than
you on is a
what they
playoff game can't be decided by a pitch clock violation. That's it. But
It's going to happen.
But regular
It's going to happen.
Regulars, I heard they might not use it in the playoffs.
All these rule changes, they're going to be 2 pickoffs in a playoff game. The guy's going to get on third, and then they're going to lose.
Well, as long as Turner's coming home to win the pennant, I'm good.
And while we're on it, I can't stand the ghost runner either.
Well, that's bullshit.
It's bullshit.
What
It's
ghost runner?
such a little league garbage.
The extra innings rule where the
What,
guy.
the guy-
I thought they
The
did.
guy
I
goes
thought they
to
did away
second.
with that.
No,
this year.
No.
the Phillies just
That's
lost
how
yesterday.
No.
they lost yesterday.
That's
They
a
lost
permanent
yesterday
rule.
because of that.
Dude, first of all, stop with this. Like, it takes away from the beauty of the game. Just stop with that. If you
Why?
want to say that,
Why? What?
because
what's the
it's
problem
not
with it?
because you're seeing the same amount of baseball, you're just seeing it at a faster pace. All right,
But that affects the
That
game.
affects
Are
the
you
outcome.
fans?
It
It's
affects the
slow.
experience of the game.
Why?
Right.
I don't get this.
No.
What does that mean?
Let me ask you
What does
this.
that
Being there,
mean?
being
Hold
at a
on.
leisurely game.
Jim, is your
You're at
experience-
the ball. You're not at a stadium.
Wait, hold
You're
on.
not at an arena.
Is a fan-
You're at the park.
Is a faster,
Gon-
slow.
Gon-
Enjoy
Gonzo's in the back.
yourself.
Wait a minute. Is a faster, slow experience different than the outcome?
Is what?
Whether you go fast or slow, does the experience matter?
Yes,
It depends on
because it's the
You guys
experience.
are all
It
past.
depends on the venue.
Dude, ask Gonzo. Gonzo
It's
is
the
keeping
journey.
freaking real. You're full of shit with this, dude. I
How?
don't want to hear any more about this beauty of the game bullshit.
Why?
Seriously.
It's America's pastime.
You guys are like,
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Pastime.
yo,
And
he
they
just
ruined it.
Ah, no.
Yeah.
John's coming on with a Phillies hat on. And we're ripping the sport.
No, John doesn't care. He probably thinks the pitch clock's good too, because then he gets to go to bed early.
He's out on the West
He's on the
Coast. The
West
game's
Coast,
over at 8
yeah.
o'clock.
Stop crying. God,
You're the one screaming. We're trying to.
because you
say
guys
that.
are being
All
ridiculous.
right, let's introduce our guest, and then we'll get into being ridiculous some more.
Come on, dude.
Back to visit us again, John Gonzales. John, thanks for giving us some time. We appreciate you being in here. You seem like you had a good time last time. Hope you have a good time this time. Catch John. He's on the starting five, the lead every other day. You know, you mix it up a little bit here and there. You can catch him there. But we want to talk some Sixers, but we're having a heated discussion right now around the new baseball rules
Oh my God.
and the clock. What are your thoughts on the clock?
Yeah, you guys are in rare form. Thanks for having me back.
He
I
doesn't want
jumped
it.
right into the middle of this. I like the clock.
Yes.
Look, I mean, I've covered baseball. If you ever covered baseball or gone to a lot of games, then all of a sudden you're like, yes, please, because those are long ass days when you're just at the stadium at like 3 o'clock and then you're not leaving till after midnight. And it's like, it's one thing if you're going to a handful of games a year, sure, who cares about a clock? But if you're watching baseball regularly, there's 162 games. I mean, let's pick it up a little bit.
Yep.
It's
See,
not
a man after my own heart.
right. Exactly.
I've said
Eh.
the way to fix
Yo,
baseball is to cut the
Right,
games
and you
back.
guys are talking about beauty of the game. I don't need to see somebody adjust their
The
glove.
experience of the
Yeah.
game.
You're
The
exaggerating.
No.
leisurely pace of the
All right.
game.
Ask John. John, do you think there was way too much time batters spent like adjusting their gloves, all this nonsense before they go up to the bat? Am I exaggerating that happened a lot before this pitch clock?
Yeah, I mean, like there's a lot of dead space in baseball, right?
Thank you.
Like
Thank
with
you.
other sports, I mean, football has a little bit of that, and the games can drag on. Like especially college football can be like 4 hours now. But if you're looking at like Sixers games, right? NBA, you can pretty much set your watch to it. It's 2.5, like without overtime, 2.5 hours. You're in and you're out. If you're into soccer at all, those are under 2 hours. So like when you get a baseball game, 9 innings, that's 4.5 hours. That's dreadful. And you can eliminate a lot of that by doing exactly what you said. You're getting rid of that dead space where they're stepping out of the box, readjusting stuff, whatever. I mean, like kill all that and just give me the good stuff.
Yep.
All
There
right,
we
bro.
go.
All right.
That's
You
fine.
guys still
You-
haven't convinced me on the
You
experience
guys
part of
guys
it.
won this.
Eh.
You guys won this battle.
Dude, I'm
but
gonna win the
war-
next battle,
war
too.
carries
Making them like
on.
shit.
I'm gonna win the
war
battle when we go
carries
to the
on.
Sixers too.
What? Did they lose in the second
We
round?
got 16-year-olds cursing.
Yeah, I know, right? It's bad.
He's
You say
18 now.
They're gonna lose in the second
He's a
round.
grown ass man.
Dude, get
Oh,
the
I'm
hell
sorry.
out of
Dude,
here.
they're playing the Celtics. They're gonna get
All right.
swept.
All right. Let's
All right, let's
back off of that.
pump the brakes a bit.
Before you get to the Sixers, how are you guys feeling about the Phils? Because it hasn't looked so good to start the season.
I'm okay.
We're not. I don't think we're
With the-
panicking, but it's frustrating.
The concern level has risen a bit.
For you.
We're not panicking. We're not
Speak for
worried.
yourself.
but
Speak
we're
for
concerned.
yourself, dude. You've been crying in the text.
Pitching has been an issue. Timely hitting has been an issue. Base running has
Base
been
running.
a disaster.
Thanks to
How
Nick.
many rallies have they run themselves out of because they can't run the damn bases?
6-2.
That's
So
exactly right. I mean,
And we just got an update. It's 6-2 Reds.
and so this is what I'm talking about. Like, if you look at the team across the board, right? Like, what's one area where you can go, oh, they're at least good at that right now, right? Like, nothing's really working for them right now.
The young hitters. The young hitters. That's it.
But it's only one young hitter,
Bowman
right?
Stott.
No, yeah, I guess Bowman. But
yeah.
yeah, I'm
The
missing
other
Bowman.
guys aren't producing big guns.
No.
Well,
What are your thoughts on, and the other rumor is Harper coming back and having him play first base?
I saw that, and have you guys seen Moneyball? Remember that scene where they're trying to convince Scott Hatterberg to move to first?
yeah.
And Brad Pitt's like, it's not that hard. Tell him, Wash. And he's like, it's incredibly hard. Like, I guess, I mean, stick him there, right? I mean, he can't look. I mean, Hoskins was a disaster defensively. So can't be worse than that, right?
No.
Are you worried, though, that there's the chance? And I know this is probably an extreme that
somebody
he gets injured. You know, somebody runs through him. He does have to throw the ball to third. He has to make a play. Put him at the DH for the season.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably going to spend most of his time there anyway, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a huge deal, but like they definitely need some kind of answer at first. And right now, they need a lot of answers everywhere, but right now they don't have any.
He's definitely athletic enough to make the move to first. He came billed from Washington as a above average defender, but not the best defender. I was pleasantly surprised when his first year here in Philly, how good he played right field. He's a very good right fielder. I don't know why his reputation was that he was just above average. I think he's much better than that. And I think he's athletic enough to make the move to first base. But I don't want to chance him getting injured playing the infield, because the chance of injury in the infield is much greater than it is in the outfield because of just the amount of traffic, the speed of the game, that sort of thing.
You can get injured doing anything.
I don't want him in right field either.
You can get injured doing anything. You heard about Jaylen Brown and the vase on his finger? You can get injured.
Yeah, I know,
anything.
but the chances of him getting injured are greater playing the infield than the outfield.
Tossing the football out in the parking lot before the show, I had to jump and I came down a little awkward. I was
a little hammy.
Andrew jammed a finger.
Yeah, you could get hurt doing it.
I don't doubt that Harper can play first base and play it as well or better than what Reese was doing. But I feel like this is the panic move.
I don't think it's a panic move. I think it's Bryce stepping up and doing what he thinks right now the team needs.
I think it's Bryce more than the team. Bryce approached the team about it. The team didn't
right. You're
Bryce.
like acting like the team came up with this magical idea. Bryce said it.
I think the team's crying, saying we got no answer at first base.
I like Bohm at first, but I know that
it's a little premature and a bit ridiculous on both arguments.
I think they might just be trying to get like John
if
saying.
If the Phillies were winning, this is not a debate, and it's not even a discussion.
Yeah, you guys will all be like, Harper's coming back, put him at first.
No.
Yes, you would.
If the Phillies were winning, no.
11-2, Harper's ready to come back. He's ready to play first base. You're like, put him in.
Nah.
Get out of here.
All right, let's get to what matters.
Oh, shit.
Let's get to what matters, right? The season, the real basketball season is here. The real NBA season's here. Sixers playoffs. What you got? You go ahead, Smitty. You got something to say?
I want to go with one question, John, and I know you'll always keep it real. Do you believe that there's a difference in James Harden last year, and do you think that he was hurt last year, his first year as a Sixer?
I don't know. I mean, like, there's always been these questions about how healthy he's been over the last couple of years. I think he's healthy now.
Yes. Do you think he was healthy last year in the playoffs?
I mean, probably not. But also, like, those in-season trades, like big in-season trades, very, very rarely result in like halfway through the season, new guy comes in and like all of a sudden you're in the finals. Like, it usually takes until the next year. So this year, the question now is like, can he, and because it's basically like what he and Embiid do will determine whether or not they can finally get out of the second round. And I'm like already hand waving the first round series against the Nets, but assuming they win that, it's those two, right? And if they can't get it done, all of a sudden this offseason looks real sticky.
I think he's on my side.
So what are you saying? Are we kind of hinting at the fact that a second round exit, they lose to Boston, you got to break up the Harden and Embiid relationship? Is that what you're kind of saying?
If they lose another second round, like they can't get out of the second round again, right?
Yes, right.
All right, now you've got James Harden as a free agent. There were all those rumors about maybe he wants to go back to Houston. I'm not sure I believe those, but I think that he would at least think like, hey, is this the right spot for me? And
Okay.
then if you're the Sixers, I mean, like Embiid's probably going to win the MVP award, right?
Yes.
But what's the one constant throughout all these different iterations? I love Embiid. I would still keep Embiid and try to figure out the pieces around him. But I guarantee you there's going to be people in the city go, well, hey, I mean, like when they had Ben Simmons and Jimmy Butler and whatever, yes, they had a 4-bouncer against Kawhi Leonard and the Raptors, and maybe they won it all that year, but they didn't. Then they rejiggered the team. They moved Jimmy. They bring in Toby and do this whole bit. Hey, what happens? They lose to the Hawks, still can't get out of the second round. Okay, now they go out and get James Harden. Embiid's still here, right? Still can't get out of the second round. It's going to be people asking questions.
And they've had that built-in excuse of injuries in the playoffs.
Yes, they have.
Right.
And look, it's not. I'm not saying that Embiid breaking his face was,
Two times.
I'm not saying that's his.
In like 5 years.
He was healthy going into the playoffs last year, and then he broke his face.
Yeah.
Right.
John.
No.
John, I've been with you for a while now. The one constant in all of this has been Embiid. They've changed the coaches. They've changed the players. I've been saying this for a while, Smitty. Don't give me that look.
We all been saying this.
Not all of us.
I have.
And I'm with you there. I love Embiid. I love him as a player. I think he's great for the city. I think he's a great fit in the city. Mm-hmm. But it's just if we don't get out of the second round, somebody eyes got to start looking towards him, not just coaches and other players.
All right,
because he is the constant.
You can't trade.
But we're
him.
not talking about getting rid of Embiid.
Are
right?
you talking about?
I don't know.
Him?
He's going to be 30 next year. How many years left open for his window?
He's led the league.
3 at
Are you
most.
serious about the trade Embiid?
Yeah. Dude, can we?
No, I'm not saying trade him, but how many years left for his open window?
So what are you
in
saying?
a championship?
4 to
I don't
5
know.
Years, 4 to 5 years. He still has
4 to 5.
Yes.
The way he gets beat up.
Yeah, I think 4 at most.
He's
At
peaking
most.
right now. He's at his peak right
I
now.
know. You guys are.
I know, but it's not like his peak is going to be another 7 years. It's 3 to 4 at most.
And that fits with the Harden timeline too, in my opinion.
So, John, is this season, if they don't make it to the finals, what's that mean for you? Is this a failure of a season?
I mean, conference finals for sure. If you don't make it out of the second round again, absolutely. I mean, look, at some point you have to see some progression, right? I mean, Doc was talking about this a little bit earlier today where he was asked about those Clippers teams, right? And I covered some of those teams when I first moved out to LA. And I remember talking to JJ Redick about it and saying, hey, the narrative around you guys is you can't get out of the second round. He goes, yeah, that makes sense. It's going to be until we get out of the second round. And we will. He was convinced. They never did. And they broke up that team, right? I mean, like, it can't go on forever. So, yeah, if they don't make it out of the second round, if they don't make it at least to the conference finals, absolutely a failure.
With an MVP on your team and the guy that has a season of his career or one of the seasons of his career in Harden, they don't get past the second round, brother.
It's gotta get blown up.
Something's got to happen.
I won't say you get rid of Embiid, but I'm not giving Harden his 5-year max. Now, if he picks up his player option, fine.
Are you giving Maxey his
But I'm
option,
not
or are you
giving-
going after another? Like they just said today,
Well,
go after Dame.
Yeah, that's why I was literally just. It's like you read my mind. Damian Lillard talked today about if they don't make changes in Portland, maybe I make my own change.
We're going down the Dame train again.
Maybe
you
you move Maxey
Or Harden.
for Dame Lillard and you let Harden go get his 5-year max with Houston.
I don't think he can move. I don't think Maxey.
For Dame Lillard? Dude, if you're still not getting out of the second round and Maxey looks lost again in the playoffs, how many years are you going to wait on it?
I mean, I don't think that's even a start. I don't think Maxey gets you even anywhere near Dame.
No,
I think
obviously you got to package it with stuff.
What are you going to give him? Daniel House,
You give
Furkan
first round picks. Maybe you move Tobias's
You
contract.
give everything you got.
Exactly.
Yeah, you guys talk like we have a
Right.
treasure trove of players.
You're telling me Shake Milton, Furk, Maxey, and Tobias doesn't? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no.
So
No,
if
it doesn't get it done.
I know.
I
you look
think
at
you're-
this team versus past playoff teams, John, where would you rank this team? Somebody in this room loves PJ Tucker.
That's
I
fine.
think she's the best addition to this team in the offseason. I don't think this team is better than the JJ Jimmy team. I think that team was better.
The JJ Jimmy team came. I was at that game. I covered that game, and they came a freak Kawhi Leonard all-time shot away from advancing, and who knows what happens after that. So yeah, I'm with you. I think that team was better, but I reserve the right to change my mind if they do get to the conference finals, because then all of a sudden, by definition, this team would be better. But again, it really does come down to those two guys have to carry them, because, you outlined some of the, peripheral players. The team isn't super deep, and they're not like the depth of talent falls off pretty quickly after those first 2-3 guys. So those first 2-3 guys have to be amazing this postseason.
Gonzo, with Brooklyn coming to town, I think obviously a lot of us have us beating Brooklyn. We should get past Brooklyn pretty easily, and obviously it sets up the matchup for the Boston Celtics. What do you think they need to do to beat Boston?
Not even giving Atlanta a chance.
I'll tell you why. I think you're sleeping a little bit on Atlanta too.
I'm not sleeping on them.
Yes, you are. Everybody slept on them a couple years ago, and they added the dude from San Antonio.
They're not going to beat Boston.
Dude, Boston. Here's the thing.
Let Gonzo answer
Yeah,
first.
I want to get that answer.
I also am sleeping on the Hawks. The Hawks are fine. I mean, I think Quinn Snyder next year is going to be an interesting year for them, because Quinn Snyder is a really good coach, and I think that I don't know that he's had enough time really with that team to like pull a first round upset.
He was from Utah, right?
What's up?
What did he coach in Utah before this? What did
Yeah.
Okay.
And he did a lot with not that much, right? Because like those Jazz teams, it's not like they had they weren't a free agent destination or whatever, right? They had 2 homegrown talent, and they just put a lot of pieces around them. But the Celtics are really good, man. I mean, like that's my concern for the Sixers in the Eastern Conference. Like, I don't think that they're better than the Celtics and the Bucks. Like, I think those two teams are now. Maybe they prove me wrong. I hope they do. They're going to have the MVP on their side, so most nights they're going to have the best player on the floor. But I don't know. It makes me nervous once they get into that second round against the Celtics. And like we've seen it too over these last few years, right? The Celtics have been a tough beat for them.
Yeah, they took 3 out of 4 this year.
Yeah,
They can beat.
I mean, like, and the Celtics match up really well with the Sixers because they are a deep team. They have a lot of pieces that they can move around. You mentioned Jaylen Brown hurting his hand in that freak accident, but like they have so many different parts that they can just like plug and play when they do lose guys or guys get into foul trouble or whatever. And, you also mentioned PJ Tucker, right? Like he hasn't, I mean, it would be great if they got anything from him offensively. They really haven't.
Thank you.
Whereas like the Celtics, like when they have guys who have off nights, they have so many other guys who can step in and fill that void. And the Sixers really don't.
That's the biggest factor in that series.
There's one part that I think we're missing with Boston that I think could get exposed. A rookie head coach with literally.
Stop.
What do you mean stop?
What's
Missoula's
Doc
never
proven?
been
What's
there.
Doc? Okay, and what's Doc?
And the Celtics have like lost some games, dude, in the second hand.
Yeah,
still got him to a number
And
two.
how many times has Doc blown a series?
It was just brought up earlier with the Clippers team.
I think that there's potential for – that's why I really wanted Miami to beat Atlanta, because I really think that Spoelstra against Missoula would have been a hard time for Boston.
Yeah.
And I honestly think Atlanta has a shot because they got 2 guards that can score.
They don't have a shot.
No,
Okay.
they don't have a shot.
Everybody in this room sat there and said the Hawks didn't have a shot to beat the Sixers too, correct? Right?
Yeah, that was years ago.
No,
That was brutal.
You right or wrong?
I
It's a
did.
different team.
Right or wrong?
I said the Hawks could beat the Sixers.
You didn't remember.
I said
You
Hawks.
didn't.
I said
just
Hawks
saying,
in 7. I
every
said
year in
Hawks
the
in
NBA
7.
You said what's up, and then that was the
I
shot.
said Hawks in 7.
Every year in the NBA playoffs, something wild happens. I could see Atlanta beating them if Trae Young gets hot.
I feel like
maybe they win one game.
No.
They're not winning a series, dude.
Okay, we'll see.
Not in Boston.
No.
We'll see.
No.
I got the Nuggets losing the first round of the 8 seed.
I was going to go there. So it's just let's rainbows and unicorns. Everything works out in the Sixers' favor. Is there a team in the West that worries you,
No, I think the
Suns.
John?
The Suns.
The West is interesting because it's like such a toss-up year for the West, right? I mean, like it's hard to know what the Phoenix Suns are. I mean, they've been really, really good. Small sample size when KD is on the floor. He had that like freak injury where he stepped on a puddle and he was out for a while, but I think they're undefeated when he plays. So that's a tough matchup for the Clippers to start. And then, the Warriors drew the Kings in the first round. And like, look, the Kings have been fun this year. Good for them finally breaking their playoff drought, but I don't really buy the Kings in the postseason. So like, who knows if Golden State gets hot. And then, John Morant and the Grizzlies are interesting. I mean, that's like a toss-up conference for me. I'm not buying the Nuggets, though, because they always, not dissimilar from the Sixers, they end up flaming out in the postseason.
Yeah.
Anybody given any thought about the Lakers?
No.
I mean,
Out in LA, I'm sure they're going nuts.
we saw that foul disparity. Yeah, I think there's a chance. Yeah. I think
I
the NBA would love to see LeBron rise from the ashes.
I think
and get to the
who
NBA Finals.
who did they draw?
Memphis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could beat Memphis.
But Memphis has home court,
Yeah.
so that's a
I
factor.
don't know. Memphis is really good.
I think
man.
Sacramento is going to lose to Golden State.
Really?
Charles
Gold.
Barkley picked Sacramento as
Nope.
one of his
yeah.
sweethearts of
You
sleep.
No,
think the Warriors are going to lose?
I think the Warriors are.
Warriors are-
Actually going to go far.
I actually think, what's the craziest one I'll tell you? I think the Clippers are beating the Suns.
They don't have Paul George.
No.
Uh,
No.
I think the Clippers
You
are
just
the
said the
shot.
Hawks might beat the Celtics. So
Okay,
you
so,
lost your
all right,
credibility with
all right, one of them
Sorry.
And then when one of them happens, I'm going to just laugh.
Go ahead, but
I'll tell
more
you
power
the
to you,
two.
but I
I'll
don't
tell you
see
the
it
two
happening.
sleeper teams.
You don't think the Clippers can beat the Suns?
No,
Not without
I
not
don't-
without PG.
there's no Paul George. Playoff P? Come on, man.
I don't know.
Who's the 8th seed in the West? Timberwolves? No.
Yeah, they're probably going to get
It's-
the Nuggets are going to get the Thunder or the
The
Wolves.
Thunder. It was decided last
Yeah,
No,
night.
it wasn't. That was
No, it's Friday night is the last two games. So you got Wolves against the Thunder, and then you've got the Bulls and the Heat.
Bulls, right?
I just don't see the Suns. I don't
I-
see it working. I see
I
it
think-
being
I-
Brooklyn 2.0.
I think the Warriors.
Durant.
Warriors are might
Yes.
be the team out of the West. Honestly,
Why, dude? Kevin
right, so-
Durant's played 10 games with the Suns. Do you think they're just
And
going to
they're on- and they're
automatically
like-
put it together?
They're like 8
This
and
is like
2.
Brooklyn all over again, dude. Wait and see.
There's going to be a lot of There's going to be a lot of game sevens. I think out of the West in every series. I don't think there's one sweep. Honestly,
Yeah, the Nuggets might sweep. Honestly, if
the
they get the
Nuggets won't.
Thunder,
All right, let's get back to the Sixers. Brooklyn.
sweep.
I'm with you.
Nah,
I got a sweep.
I'll go
I got
I'd like
5.
to see it, but I think
I'll
go
give him 5.
5-5. John.
5 or 6.
Oh,
Brooklyn, like
Six.
Brooklyn,
Nice.
Brooklyn's interesting. Like I think the Sixers are going to win the series, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Nets win a game or two, because like it was sort of addition by subtraction there. Like Mikal Bridges, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention. Like giving him his own team, he's been absolutely incredible. They got Cam Johnson in that deal. He's looked really good. And like obviously they'd love to have KD, right? But you get rid of Kyrie and his like knuckleheadedness. And then Ben Simmons, who was like a 0 for them this year, you take him off the team. And now it's just like a bunch of young guys trying to win a job for next year. They've been scrappy.
Yeah,
John,
they're a
Yeah,
good team.
you know this city. Bridges, if he has
I know,
a
it's a
half
killer.
decent game, we get reminded all over
It's a killer.
social media about how we traded him. So yes,
We'll see.
we are definitely paying attention to
That's
this.
the thing about
that
Bridges.
trade, going back to that, because like if you think about what really every team could use, but especially the Sixers, a
Yeah.
guy who can hit a 3 and play defense like Matisse Thybulle never turned into. Mikal Bridges is like the best possible case scenario for that, and like they just gave him away for a guy who had a nut allergy, almost died.
And he's got a huge chip on his shoulder too about this team.
Killer.
So he's going to be
Killer.
actually fired up.
But is he enough to will that team to
No,
come up
No, but they
No.
could, like I said, they could steal a game
2
or
wins at
two.
most. I see 1.
with? Okay. Anything else on the Sixers? I do want to get some Eagles thoughts out of John.
Eagles.
Brody, did you give it? Sorry.
I think it should be a sweep, but I'm going to say in 5.
5. Nate, first round.
Sweep.
Sweep. I thought you were
I
asleep
thought
back
we
there.
lost
Yeah.
All
All right.
I thought you left the room.
We got 2 weeks to go till the NFL draft. 2 weeks from tonight. Where does Howie have something up his sleeve? I said out earlier tonight, I think I'm on the Bijan train. John, if you're Howie, what are you doing on Thursday?
No
night?
chance. They haven't taken, you know what? Do you know when the last time is that
I
they
know
took
that.
a
Yes, I do.
running back in the first rounds?
I do.
Okay.
It sounds like they were upset about Miles in the second round, even.
Do you remember who they took?
Was it Keith Byers?
It was Keith Byers, in the
Medical
mid 80s.
reject.
Like they don't do it. There's a reason why most teams try to avoid it. I wouldn't. I think that there's like other needs on the team. There's any number of positions I would address before I'd go running back. I mean, God bless whoever takes the kid. He's going to go in the first round. I just don't think it's going to be the Eagles.
I'm with you.
My,
I think it's
my
all,
dream is just though.
I think it's all smoke screen.
Would you think they would take him if he's there at 30?
If he's there
Yeah,
at
maybe.
30,
I mean, then all of a sudden it's like back end of the first, right? It's like almost like a high second, maybe then, but
Yeah.
you trade back from 10 to like 15, 16.
I was saying you trade to like 10 to like 19 and gain another second round pick. Maybe you take him, but I also see why you wouldn't. I mean, running backs are a dime a dozen. I was only saying him and Hurts would be unstoppable.
I
Literally.
agree. They don't put a lot of
They
value
just-
in the running backs.
Right.
They just
and-
went to a Super Bowl with Kenny Gainwell being their lead back through the
But
playoffs.
imagine if this guy is what he's hyped
Yeah,
up
you
to
think
be.
if they had beat John Robinson
they
last year, they
actually
win
have-
the Super Bowl?
Maybe.
Yeah.
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 The defense couldn't
Yeah.
stop a nosebleed in the second half.
But
We
they,
And the
gave
running
them-
backs couldn't
we
find
gave
the
them
end zone.
14 points.
yeah, we gave them 14
Come on,
points.
fellas. Come on,
If
fellas.
this
We
Eagles
could have
team
ran
is
the
good
clock
enough,
with the running
We're
game.
smarter than this,
if this
fellas.
Eagles team
We
is good
gave them
enough to
14 points.
take the best player available at number 10, who is going to be the best player available?
I'm
And to
with,
me, it's
I'm with,
Bijan.
I'm with John and Howie's track record of
Trading.
never taking a running back in the first round. I think it's one of the dumbest moves in sports. And
But-
I'm all about building up the trenches,
But you know
which
what
is what Howie is good at and has been good at
But
drafting.
you don't need an offensive lineman like this guy.
Why
from
not?
Northwestern.
Why not? Why
You're
don't
going
you-
to
Because
you're
you
going
have
to you're going to need
Milano
one.
So
and
you're thinking?
Johnson
So
under
we're just
contract
we're
for the
just
next 3
assuming
years.
we're just assuming that Cam Jurgens is going to plug right into guard and be totally
But
fine.
you're gonna. But you don't need to take
We're
a
just
guard
assuming
at 10.
that.
You don't need
Smitty,
to take a guard at
Why
10.
not?
Because
Why?
you've proven that it works with Sam Mullins, a third-round pick. I'll take a pass
Sam
rusher.
Mullins not
And
here
you know what
anymore.
else I'm going to tell you? Another wild card.
I'm fine with taking a
Don't be
pass
shocked
rusher.
if they take a wide receiver.
I
Don't
wouldn't-
be
wouldn't-
shocked.
Nah. I think I really
Because
do
they
think
don't believe in
I
Quez
really-
Watkins,
I really
and you
think
can get Hurts more weapons.
I think they're trading out of 10 or they're taking a defensive lineman or offensive
I would
lineman.
take the defensive end from Georgia, Smith.
I do think they will try and get a wide receiver 3, but I don't. Are you saying at 10?
Yeah, you don't draft.
I can't
thank
see
you,
it at
Brody.
10.
You don't draft a wide
Maybe-
receiver
I
3
can see
at 10.
30, but not 10.
See, Brody's smart.
Okay.
Not the first round. Get that in the second
Yeah,
or
or
third.
second.
No, you don't draft your third option as a wide receiver at pick 10.
Or in the
Or you
first
could
round in
just have an
general.
unstoppable offense, which is what Jeff Lurie is
Well,
all
well,
about.
let's-
That's what he's all about. What
let's-
is Jeff Lurie said? He wants a passing offense. You're
Yeah.
telling me 3 unstoppable wide receivers with Hurts?
What's wrong with AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert? They look pretty unstoppable
You can't
last year.
build the offense with another wide receiver.
And you,
Let's
and
see
you know
what-
what also one
John,
Smitty?
So
Add
what are you
another
taking at 10
offensive
then?
I mean, I'm always of the, with a high first round pick like that, like trenches for me, right? Give me a lineman,
Yeah.
or who knows? Like they could always use another DB too, right? If there's somebody good at corner, I haven't really looked at the draft. Like this would be a Colleen question because I really don't know enough about the NFL draft. But I do think like needs. You can always use another offensive or defensive lineman,
Right.
especially with like the offensive line's aging, right? I mean, like, Kelsey's hanging on by a thread. Glad he's coming back. Who knows how much longer Lane Johnson's going to be around? Like, you can always use one of those guys.
Absolutely.
They've been drafting those guys, though. They've been drafting
Right.
the,
Can't have enough.
the offensive line.
Can't have
But
enough.
you're saying
I'm
they're
saying-
another trick in the offense, right?
I'm saying yes. That's what I'm
And it
saying.
could
We
be
want
a
the
word,
We're
offense.
just like I said already, we're assuming Cam Jurgens plays guard. We're assuming Jason Kelsey stays healthy all year.
And
We're assuming Lane Johnson stays healthy all year.
But
But
you're
Mailata stays healthy all
What
year.
is Jeff Lurie
Dickerson
said?
gets hurt
But
a
what
lot.
has Lurie said about a passing offense? He wants to have an unstoppable. You add another
And
wide
you have-
receiver.
so
with Hurts.
Do you trust
Smitty,
so
in
do you
order to
trust
have-
Jack Driscoll for 16 games
So
if it happens?
Smitty, in order to have an unstoppable offense, you need to have a good offensive line to protect the
They've had
quarterback.
the best
They have the
offensive
best
line.
offensive line in the league.
You
Sure.
start up
If
front.
that wide receiver's there from Ohio State, they could trade down and take
Jackson
I understand
yes. Yes.
And
I
Jake
understand
Bell?
that.
You also have to think
But
about
you
in a
also
couple of
under-
years, A.J. Brown's
Exactly. You have to think a
Cap
couple
hit is
years you're going to
$30
need new
million.
offensive linemen.
Smitty, you need a new offensive line.
You start up front.
Lane Johnson's getting old. Jason Kelsey's getting old.
We
dude.
know
Lane
that.
Johnson just signed a guaranteed contract to
Why do
2026.
people say that? Like, do we
Mailata
think
is
that Lane's going to
27 or 28 years
retire?
old.
No,
Dude, we're not
but it's
saying that.
it's not unknown that they aren't always healthy.
But they're not going to take one at 10 when they just gave
You don't know,
$36 million
Smitty.
to
They
Lane
need-
Johnson.
You
They
don't
need
know
a
they can have a
guard.
current
All right, we
injury
got-
this year.
We got time for draft talk.
Reel 'em back
Reeled
in.
it, reeled it.
Reel
John,
back
you
in.
mentioned your wife Colleen. Is she going to be out there at the draft?
She will be, yeah. Actually, right now she's in Texas doing a Q&A with Deion Sanders and I think Michael Irvin too. And then, yeah, she's got the draft coming up, so she'll be hosting per usual. She usually does all the crowd stuff on draft day. I think she's got some day 3 stuff too, but she'll be there in Kansas City. Yeah, I'm trying to get her to. Did you guys see that? Travis Kelce is having he's throwing the Kansas City equivalent of the Roots picnic.
Yes, I did.
I'm trying to get Colleen to go to that.
Nice. Are you gonna head out there with her?
No, I gotta work. Somebody's gotta watch the dogs, you know.
Yeah.
Also, it's in Kansas City. Like when it was in Vegas, yes, Kansas City. I'm good.
Yeah, Kansas City will pass.
So did she tell you when she was on that you guys, we do our lightning round of questions, that you guys pretty much matched exactly?
I love it. We should get married.
You should. There might be something going on with you kids. Who knows? Is she excited about the city? They're trying to call it the City Six, but I still see
She saw it.
there's a billboard that still says the Big Five.
Yeah, the Big Five tournament.
Yeah, I didn't know that was going to happen. I saw that the other day, and I always tease her about because she loves to call City Six a thing, and I'm like, it's not a thing. But so it's kind of brutal how what the Big Five has become, right? I mean, when I went to LaSalle, all those schools were competitive, at least. LaSalle wasn't; they were bad, but there was a lot of juice behind. Cheney was at Temple, and Nova was on the rise, and St. Joe's obviously was really good, and now they all suck. Nobody pays attention. Nobody goes to the Palestra. It's such a bummer to see.
I was at Easter actually. A guy, Bill Abington, was there. He told me that the Philadelphia Catholic League championship game sold out more than 7. I think he said 7 college conference championship games.
Really?
Wow.
So it's not just really Big Five basketball. It's kind of sad. College basketball across the country is really falling off.
Yeah, because you
Game
can't
at the
identify with
Palestra?
the players because they're
It was at the
all the
Palestra.
stars
What
are
teams
one and
were
done.
they?
Huh?
What teams?
Yeah, Temple.
Well,
did a
it's
double
division-
header.
is it
Division One conference championship games. You would think they could sell out an arena like the Palestra.
Yeah, are you like Penn versus Dartmouth?
Yeah, right.
He didn't tell me what conferences they were. They might have been mid-major type
Yeah,
conferences.
Big Sky.
But I still think that's pretty impressive that a high school basketball game can sell out more than a
I agree
conference
with you,
tournament championship
I think
game.
some of the City Six teams are going to be back. I think some of the teams are going to be on the rise soon, very soon.
I think they let too much city talent get away.
Well,
There's so much
yeah,
talent in the
if you're a
city.
city homegrown,
We
if
talked
you're a
about
city
this.
talent, would you
If you're
really
a
want to
city
stay
kid,
here?
would you-
Yeah, well,
Would you
Or
go
would
to
you
Penn
rather-
at
State
one
or-
time, kids did.
Yeah,
and that's
but
what
it's
I think
different
they're
now.
trying to do now. That's what I think. Yeah.
NLI changes a lot of it.
Yeah,
too.
these kids want to get paid. So if
Exactly.
Temple
Yeah.
and LaSalle start paying them, then they'll go.
Yeah.
It's about the money.
All right, I got a
Indeed.
couple more questions. First, we did a bracket
Okay.
over the March Madness. We called it our Kicking the Brackets tournament, right? And it was all some of the worst things that have happened to Philly, right?
Okay.
Either heartbreak losses, bad draft picks, good players leaving, bad coaches. I'll tell you who the winner was, but first, what is your worst memory as a Philly fan? What's
Oh,
the thing
man.
that sticks with you? And if you just see a face, you see a number, you hear a certain word.
There's so many. That's why this is such a great idea because how Philly is it where you're like, man, how much time do we have?
Oh, we had so many nominations.
There's so many. All right, just off the top of my head, starting from when I was a kid, I always like to joke that Joe Carter got to the plate. I was a kid. The ball went over the fence. I was 35. That was the end of my childhood. So the Phillies losing to the Blue Jays, that sucked. The conference championship, the last game at the Vet, losing to the Bucks was absolute. How are you going to lose to the Bucks? That was absolutely brutal. And I was, I told you I was at the Raptors Sixers game, and that ball was up there long enough. I'm in the press box. Ball bounces. I had enough time. Bounced 4 times. I had enough time to say to the guy next to me, "We're going to overtime," and then go, "No, we're not." So that one was brutal too. So that's just off the top of my head. I'm sure I'm forgetting some major ones.
The winner was the 93 World Series.
Brutal.
Yeah, and I think that was a 4 seed or a 5, not a 5. It was either a 4 or a 3. And that
it was
the championship game was the draft of Ben Simmons versus the 93
was-
World Series.
The World Series was a 3. Ben Simmons was the 5.
Right.
Losing, yeah, taking Ben Simmons, although that was like the obvious pick, right? I mean, like,
Yeah.
Right.
like everybody thought that was what they should do. And then, everything that happened with Fultz, that was brutal too.
Yeah.
Man,
I think
there's a lot of them.
I think the Ben Simmons pick for our tournament though was a lot of recency type.
Yeah, I don't think he should have made it through, but that's the way the votes went.
I couldn't
definitely
vote
worse
for
draft
Ben
picks.
because he was Rookie of the Year. He was a multiple All-Star. You got decent. Did he ever live up to the hype and what he was supposed to be? No, but he was Rookie of the Year. You got All-Star years out of him, and he was a good player when he was here. Other than the fact that he wouldn't shoot the ball.
I think it was more hate towards what
Yeah,
happened.
it was hate.
Yeah,
When you look at the actual production on the floor,
yeah.
it wasn't terrible. Fultz was terrible.
I was surprised that Dawkins didn't make it further when he left for Denver.
Yeah.
And I was shocked, honestly, that the Super Bowl or the World Series didn't go as far, further.
Yep.
The part of that though, because I was at both of those, and like I was at Game 3 for this past World Series, and like it went pretty well, and then kind of like the wheels came off. But I think like one, it was mitigated by the Eagles did win the Super Bowl, so we're like still
right.
Like there's still a little like playing with a little bit of house money, and also like the Phils. That Phil season was weird, right? Like they started off slow, then all of a sudden they got super hot, and then you run into the Astros, and you're like, well, shit, the Astros are really good. And then this last Super Bowl, I was there, and like that was an awesome game. I mean, like you guys said, they made some mistakes, they gave away points, but there's no shame in losing that game, right? Like if they had lost the Super Bowl previously and then lost that one, then it's a dagger. But
that's
I'm with you. I think the World Series was, like you said, that was and not even from the Eagles Super Bowl. I just think that was house money because I don't think any of us thought the way the Phillies season went last year that they were going to get there. So the fact that they were there, it was fun. It was a great postseason.
I'll tell you,
was
when
such
they
a
went
good
out,
team.
That Super Bowl, I was very confident that we were winning that Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Very
I think
confident.
the whole city was.
I was too.
You're up 10 at halftime.
Yeah.
I was too.
All right,
I was at the end. Colleen and I were in the end zone where
the
the fateful flag got thrown, and we were like, "What's happening? How are they calling that?" And I don't know. It was brutal, but it was a hell of a game.
Yeah,
it was.
Yep.
It was
a very entertaining game.
Entertaining game, but heartbreaking game.
And that's what bothered me about that flag was it was such an entertaining game, but two things: they robbed the Eagles of a chance to go down and tie or win the game, and they robbed everybody that was watching that game the opportunity to witness a great finish to a great game. Up to that point, a great game.
You know what was a bigger call too that we don't even go back and look at? The fact when that Devontae Smith catch right before half that they overturned, they got a field goal there. They get a touchdown there. That's a totally different thing. Whereas Watkins, there were some calls that made you wonder. I'll tell you that. And that Devontae Smith one, I think, was bigger. Now, if you look at the grand scheme, you can't overturn that call. It was a catch.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, last question, then we'll let you go.
All right.
Josh Harris is now an owner of the Commanders, part owner of the Commanders.
Sure.
What do you think? Like we are. It just feels icky, right? Like you're the Sixers owner, you're a part owner of the Devils, you're a part owner of the Commanders. Now he's going to put a bid on the Mets or the Nats. Like, it feels icky.
Yeah, not surprising though, right? Billionaires are billionaires for a reason. They care not at all about our fandom, and like it's also not rare either, right? Like, he also owns a Premier League club, Crystal Palace, and then like Kroenke's. The Glazers, who are selling Man U, all these guys now have multiple interests in multiple leagues because they're moneymakers and they only appreciate in value. I'm sure you guys remember when he bought the Sixers, he bought it for like a little under $300 million. They're worth well over $2 billion now, right? So he put his money in and he's making it hand over fist. Same thing will happen with the Commanders. That's only going to appreciate in value. But I'm with you. Like, do I want him to own the Commanders? No. Like, first of all, the Commanders is a really stupid name. Like they got rid of the racist name. Great. They stumble into Washington football team, which was like no frills, kind of cool. Should have just kept that and instead like ended up with this cookie cutter lame ass commander's name.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like sure, if you got $6 billion, go pay for your football team, I guess. But I'm with you guys.
Yeah. It's,
Do you think he might sell the team since it's such a high value to Sixers now? $2 billion, and he got it for like
nah.
They're trying to build that arena downtown. They're not going
Yeah,
anywhere.
he just proposed
Yeah.
that new
That's
arena.
They're
I wanna
paying
get
off
it.
potential mayoral candidates
I
to
know.
try to get that thing built.
You heard about that too? Yeah, Jeff
Yeah.
Brown's taking them votes and the money.
The
My
question
thing
is,
with him,
the
my thing
question
with
is,
him is
what
he's bringing-
other candidates took money? Because you know they didn't just pay one guy.
no,
Yeah.
it's
only
it's all
one
getting
got
spread
caught so
around.
far. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
my thing with him is he's buying rivals of Philadelphia.
He doesn't care.
He
Yeah,
didn't
I know
care.
he doesn't care. He's a billionaire. John explained that. I agree 100%. He bought the Sixers first, right? And then he goes out and buys the Devils. Then he goes out and buys the Commanders. If you're going to do that, can you buy out West? Why does it have to be teams in our
He
division?
tried to buy Denver last year.
He's from Maryland.
He was runner up.
Yeah.
I just
You
wish he
know?
would go elsewhere to buy teams, not
Why not?
not teams that we
I
compete
wouldn't
against.
mind him buying the Flyers instead of the Devils.
Nah.
All right. Any comments on that? No.
No.
Good.
I'm good.
All right, John. We appreciate you giving us some time again.
Absolutely.
Let us know where can we find you other than the lead.
Yeah. I'm just doing a bunch of stuff with Wondery. So most days you can catch me on Starting Five, which is a quick hit podcast, like everything, 5 headlines, some fun things you need to know for your day to start. And then I pop on that other podcast, The Lead, which is like a longer form one. It's kind of like when I was doing Sports Illustrated Weekly. We actually did an episode on Cataldi retiring and sort of like the end of the genre, the end of the morning zoo format. But those 2 places for now, yeah. And thanks for having me, guys. It's always fun to see you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
appreciate it.
we love having you on, John.
Back
And
at
I'm
you
digging the
guys.
fact that he has.
And we will, we'll see
We'll
how
get
the
him on when we
Sixers.
beat Boston.
We'll see how the Sixers
Please.
season go, how the postseason goes here, and maybe we'll catch up again soon.
All right. Fingers crossed.
All right, thanks,
All
John.
right, guys. Talk to you.
Stay safe. Take care. All right, boys. What else we got to touch on? I think we got it all.
Yeah, I think we covered a lot of it.
None of you, so who here at this table is a believer that they can actually beat the Celtics?
I am.
Thank you.
I think we can make it to the third round.
I'm 50-50. The Celtics not only are they talented, they know how to play against the Sixers.
Exactly.
But
That's what I was just going to say.
eventually that's gonna
They match up.
eventually that's gonna flip.
They match up
This
every
year?
year with the Sixers
I mean-
so well.
I mean, Embiid dropped 52 on them.
Yeah, without
Yeah, the
Robert
problem
Williams.
is the rest of the team
And
didn't.
without Brown, right?
Without, you think Robert Williams?
Yeah, I
Come
think he
on,
makes a
dude.
difference.
Before it was Horford was the problem. Then he destroys Horford. Now Robert Williams wasn't there. That's why.
I think Robert Williams is a factor, yes, and Jaylen Brown.
All right, I'll give you Jaylen Brown.
Smitty, as much as I hate the Celtics, I don't think you're giving the Celtics as much credit as they need. Like,
Am I not?
You know how popular we are amongst the NBA, and you're just giving the Celtics more bulletin board material.
So okay.
So we know Flan's position. Flan already said earlier, parade. Sounds like Pat Sweeney thinks they're going to win the chip too.
I don't say.
Joe White saying you got to beat the Nets first. I'm not worried about the Nets. I am worried about Boston.
I'm worried about the
I'm
Nets.
worried about
Yeah, but
Boston.
you guys,
You gotta worry
let's
about
not
who's in front of you.
assume, dude. Like I said, you guys are. I'm
They
telling
beat
you,
gonna
the
worry
Nets
about
in
Boston.
5.
I'm
I'm
talking
not
about-
assuming.
let's
I'm
assume that
basing
nobody-
it on.
You guys are assuming. Okay, we
Oh,
lost.
you're
to the
saying
Hawks.
don't assume that Boston's going to beat Atlanta?
Maybe not.
Oh my gosh,
I don't know, man.
I'm still
Did
worried.
It's a tough
anybody?
sell.
I think
It might be a tough sell, but have stranger things happened to the playoffs?
They have, yeah.
I mean, Trae Young gets hot.
I think as long as Embiid and more Embiid is healthy and playing the way
That's what I
he's
said.
played
They're
all
going to beat
season,
Boston.
I really think they're capable of winning it all. I really do.
They are.
That's
If
what
they
I'm
have
trying
to
say.
go,
I've been telling you
if
this
they
all
have to
year.
go to the bench, we're cooked.
Oh yeah, they're screwed.
If Embiid has an off night,
Yeah, they're
we're
screwed.
cooked.
They're
I don't
screwed.
agree with that.
Who's scoring,
Maxey
Smitty?
can't drop 30.
Look
What did he do in the playoffs last year?
Okay, you're
The
talking about
Sixers
last
are gonna
year.
go as far
what
as
do you
Embiid.
mean? That's all
We're
we have.
basing it on
last year.
history and
Exactly.
actual performance that we've seen.
Maxey
We've
looked
seen
like a
Maxey
deer in
going off.
headlights last year.
We've seen Maxey go off.
I just got to say, can you tell our guest is gone? We're right back
No,
at
you
it.
really don't think
We're
Maxey-
attacking each other
You
again.
talk about call Maxey, baby. Like, none of you guys have any faith that these guys take a jump in year. Like, What? Like, why don't you think we can beat Boston?
The coach.
They match up so well with us. The coaching,
The coach.
their bench, they have way better depth on their bench than we do.
Oh, I'll give you the depth, but in terms of starting five, we're
They're-
right there.
No.
All right, so I'm gonna tell you, their small forwards are way better than ours.
Doesn't impact the game that
It
much.
does.
All right, let me ask you this: Could Tucker cause some problems for Tatum in the playoffs?
Is Tucker going to call?
He didn't do it last year with Miami. You say hell no.
Wait. Is Tucker even going to guard Tatum?
I would think so.
No,
You don't
Or
think
Brown.
Tobias?
No.
Then who's playing Horford and Williams? I think they'll put Tucker on.
See, I think that's an
Williams?
advantage if they have Horford. I'm telling you right now, Horford and Williams, that's fine. I don't like that spacing for them. I think you're giving Horford too much credit.
I think-
Yeah, because he's beating us.
I don't
Yeah,
think.
you guys are looking at
I don't
the
think
past.
you understand how much.
What else do we have to base off of?
We're looking at the past. This team is better than last
We
year's
said
team.
the same stuff
look at
last
the
year.
Celtics.
They're different. They
bench.
have a better team.
Look
Our
at the
bench,
Cel-
our bench is better than last year.
No,
it's
not. You
Okay.
can't say that.
Who's coming off the
D'Anthony
bench?
Melton's not better than
You name
anybody.
one
That's
guy.
one guy.
One
McDaniels
guy.
isn't better
You
than
still
No,
have-
McDaniels hasn't shown
McDaniels
shit.
isn't better than Thibault.
Smitty.
No.
Get the fuck out.
You
Ryan
still
Smith.
have George
Paul
Niang
Ryan.
Reed's
coming
not
off the
bad. Come
bench.
on.
Brian Smith.
Paul Reed, he was here the last 3 years. What
He
he
didn't play backup center
I
last year.
love Paul Reed too. I think he's a really gritty player that
I'll
gets
just-
Robert
it'll be-
Williams.
It'll be the third time that I tell you this year. I told you so. They're going to beat Boston.
No, they're not, dude. The
Okay.
the bench.
Unless
isn't gonna be
Boston's
the-
not there.
Nate, right.
Then you're not right.
Sixers can't be Celtics.
Nate,
Unless it's Atlanta, then you're
let me
wrong.
ask Nate will agree. Nate, can they beat Boston?
No.
If
If it beats healthy.
no, if it was in Philly, if Philly had a home court, then I would give.
Nate
the
will
Sixers.
agree. Nate, can they beat Boston? No.
All
They can't beat Boston in Boston. That's
Alright,
the problem.
shut down,
All right,
Ray.
steal game
So-
1 or 2. That's it. That's all you got to do.
They're going to
Right?
have to. That's the only way they're going to
Sixers-
win.
Right.
The Sixers cannot win more than 3 games against the Celtics. They will not win more than 3 games against the Celtics. I'm telling you right now.
Well, if they win more than 3, they didn't win the series.
I know.
Yeah,
So
they
but-
can't
so
beat
they're
them.
not winning the series.
Yeah,
not-
they can't beat them 4 times in a series.
I'm gonna laugh, dude. When
Phillies
when
lost.
They're gonna
I'm
lose
gonna
in
laugh
6.
in your face when Harden goes off
They're
for
gonna-
like 40 one night
Okay,
and
and-
has 40.
If they're all healthy and they lose another second round time, can we come back and?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Smitty,
So let me tell you
Smitty,
something.
I'm gonna-
Smitty.
Flane's with you. He
You
says the
guys are not
Sixers
giving
bench
them
is
any-
way better than
Thank
last
you.
year.
It's
I know
not.
it is.
Are you
not.
kidding me? 3 question marks.
He doesn't agree.
That's what he said.
He agrees or he doesn't.
He does agree with
Yes.
you.
No,
Yeah.
it doesn't. That's sarcasm. That's pure.
Dude,
That's
Mel-
pure flat
all right,
sarcasm.
Melton's not better than Milton. McDaniels isn't better than Thibault.
Milton's still on the team.
No, but he's not gonna play. He's not gonna be 6 man off.
I'll give you Melton.
What is that rotation? That's a good
McDaniels
question.
is better.
No, he's not, dude.
Yeah,
Don't keep-
McDaniels is not better than Thibault.
No.
Oh my god,
He
dude!
gives you more scoring
Are you
options.
kidding
I
Yeah,
will
he gives
say
you more
that.
offense.
Are you kidding me?
But
Does
he?
he?
But yeah,
Does he really?
Does. Yeah, he does.
Come
But he
on,
hasn't
man.
show me.
recently. He
Yeah.
hasn't recently.
And
But
guess
Is he
he's
going to
not.
be allowed to score?
House is-
Maybe. It
House
depends
is gonna
on how he's
play.
feeling that
House
night.
is going to play too. Wait and see. And
Okay.
he's a perfect.
I'm
I'd
gonna
rather
put-
have more.
My cards on the table here, Smitty. Harden had a great season. I'm not going to
now-
rip. I'm not going to rip Harden. We're in the playoffs. We need Harden.
I agree.
We need Harden.
I agree. And
we need
Harden
to see him
wasn't.
do it.
There's
We need
2
Tucker,
things.
too.
Tucker,
there's-
I'm still not.
There's two,
Tucker's going to do nothing for me in the playoffs.
All right, we'll see. If he hits 3-corner threes, that's
The
that's-
whole series.
No, each game.
That's gonna.
9 to 12 points a game.
I think even the whole playoff.
Dude, 9
You're
to 12
asking for
a
9 to
game?
20. Dude, he didn't. He
You're
played do that
smoking
once
crack.
this year.
Look up his numbers in the playoffs.
Oh my god.
Look up his numbers.
But
in
now
the
you're
playoffs.
telling us not to look at last year,
Yeah,
but you're looking at him for 3 years ago.
Yeah.
No, I'm looking at last year.
And so are we.
I guess Come on, dude.
You're a hypocrite.
Flynn says McDaniels was a steal, all capitals.
I agree.
4-5.
Thank
Are you serious?
Thank
You
you.
can't even spell Bible right, so I don't. I'm not listening.
Like
Flat.
seriously, their team is
Are you
way
serious?
better.
A steal?
Dude,
Come
they-
on.
This is the most wins
Is
that
Jalen
they've had.
McDaniels really winning?
No.
Is that the difference?
No, but he
No.
gives you more offense than Thibault.
No,
every
No,
game.
he
Games is
what
shit.
more offense?
3 more.
Is he going to be on the court?
Exactly. What's he gonna
No,
play?
he's
10
not going to be
minutes?
on the court as much
What's
as
he gonna
Thibault
play, 10
probably.
You
minutes?
look at this bench. Who do you want on that court?
The Anthony Mellon.
George
Mel-
Niang. No,
Melton.
I don't even want him on the
Reed
bench.
when you need to.
Do
That's
you
all
want
I
him
want.
on there?
That's all I want.
I'm saying, who do you want on there?
D'Anthony
Melton or
D'Anthony
McDaniels?
Melton.
I like McDaniels.
Shake.
McDaniels is a better defender than Harris,
Oh my god.
and he's more athletic.
Dude,
Flan, go to bed.
Mel-
I'm glad Flan agrees.
What did he say
Melton.
now?
Dude, Harden.
You got Tucker for the
there's
playoffs.
Yeah,
two huge
all capitals. He
things.
says you
There's
got
three
Tucker
I got
for
a
the
case of beer
playoffs.
for the playoffs
There's
too. It's going to do the same thing that Tucker's going to do.
This is
Disappoint me.
But it won't feel as good.
Three big
The
things
sound
that
of
are in our
depression once you
favor.
crack that can open.
Three big things that are in our favor. Harden's playing for big money, right?
He better be playing for a goddamn
Money.
ring.
But is he
Exactly.
playing
I
for
don't care
money?
about money. No, play for a ring. That's why we
Okay,
brought
but-
you here.
But
Screw
if he
the
wins
money.
a ring, is he getting money?
Yes.
Yeah, so play
Okay.
for the ring first.
Embiid is still, you could say MVP. He's still pissed off that he's not the starter.
And I didn't
in the
appreciate
All-Star
his
game.
whole talk about MVP.
I hated
and
that. I hated that.
He's getting
It-
soft. He's getting soft. I'm telling you.
It
He's
looked
getting
so
soft.
And
bad.
three,
And he doesn't enjoy the game anymore.
Tucker will be the defensive difference.
No, he won't.
Okay.
My ass. will
And
be the
Doc Rivers will
defensive
blow
difference.
another series for us in the second round.
And that's
Nate,
another thing.
Better bench
Ooh.
We didn't
this
say-
year.
Sixers this year than last year. Better bench.
Dude, they have the 54 wins the most since
Yeah, I
2001.
think they have a
Like,
better bench this year.
You guys
Yes.
are all smoking
I think they do.
the high stuff.
Honestly, I don't
I
even think.
think
How
that
many
the
edibles
bench
did
is
you? How
slightly
many
better.
gummies did you eat before coming tonight?
I don't trust Doc Rivers.
That's right.
That's that. He's an
That's what
issue.
I'm saying. Like,
He
I
had
don't
his
trust
best
him.
year as a
Dude, he had
coach.
his best year, 54 wins, the
Yeah.
best amount of wins since 2001.
That's all. That's
so how does
awesome.
that not make any difference?
Because he sucks in the playoffs.
Okay, you keep saying that, but guess what? He's also won a fucking ring.
Because he had a stacked
Okay?
team.
Okay, and this is a stacked team.
No, it's not.
It's a stacked team. You're the same person that sat here and said Jalen Hurts is trash. So your opinions don't mean shit.
No, I think Doc Rivers' his track record in the playoffs is it. You have no.
He
There's really not a lot of
did he not
confidence
blow
in that.
the series against the Hawks? Did
He didn't blow the series
Yes, he
against
did.
the Hawks. The players blew the series
His coaching
against the
blew.
Hawks.
His coaching.
28 points. You're telling me the players had nothing to do with losing 28 points.
They did it twice. They
Coaching.
did
You're
it
telling
twice.
me that's coaching 28 points on
Yes.
the floor. You're an idiot if you think
He's
that's
got
for real.
he's got the wrong
Didn't they-
lineups in.
Didn't they blow
Dude,
two
get the
20-plus
hell outta here.
point leads?
Yes.
That's
in
not
that- in that
coaching.
series.
That's the players.
That's coaching. That's
That's
putting.
not players.
That's putting the wrong
That could
players
be
out at the
coaching,
wrong
too.
time.
That's an easy out.
Once,
blaming a coach.
maybe
Smitty.
the players, but when it happens
That's an
two times,
easy out.
Smitty,
That's
that's
an easy out.
Smitty. You're
Hold
putting
on,
the
hold
wrong
on.
players out there for two
Hold on,
straight
hold on.
times.
Did he or did he not blow 2 3-1 series leads with the Clippers
He
before?
did. He did.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
then. That proves my point,
But
Smitty.
like Nate just said, he had the best year as a coach. You guys are ripping
Cool.
him.
In a
That's
meaningless regular
amazing.
season.
Why does it all of a sudden it's meaningless?
Because
It's
you
the
already know.
NBA.
They've had the number one seed in the past. They got 54 wins, dude. 54-28 with Hart out for a month, Maxey out for a month, and Embiid also hurt
Cool,
a little
dude.
bit this year.
Cool.
That's why
I
I
could
told
get
you.
two shits.
That's why I
Right,
told you
it's
the
a
season
regular
doesn't mean
season.
anything.
Right,
Now I'm
so-
in. Now I'm locked in.
Now you're locked in.
Look, I have not wavered from
He
that.
took
I said it
82
all
games
season
off. He
long.
took 82
I
games
don't
off.
give a shit because it doesn't mean a goddamn thing. Because some nights they play, some nights they don't. It doesn't mean
so if they
anything.
go to the Eastern Conference Finals or they go to the NBA Finals, you guys gonna sit here and praise Doc Rivers?
No.
You're
Yes,
gonna say it's the
I-
players.
It depends on how
You're
they
gonna
get
say
there.
It's the players.
That's-
It depends on how they get
That's a
We're
there.
not gonna
premature
blame the
question, yeah.
players.
it does
We're not
depend on
gonna
how they
blame
get
the
there.
players.
It's a premature
It
question.
We're
depends
not
on
gonna
how they
blame
get
the
there.
players for
But
28
it
point
depends.
leads.
Like,
How do
We
you,
don't
how do you
sit
not
here and
praise
blame
Doc Rivers if
Brent
they make it to the
Simmons.
finals?
Thank you, Nate. Thank you.
Like, how do you not give him the
Thank you.
credit?
You guys are sitting
No,
here.
if
To
they
me,
make
Doc
it to the
Rivers-
finals, I'll give them credit.
Doc Rivers just turned into a baseball manager. These
Oh,
players
dude.
are.
Come on.
When
Nate.
has he adjusted his game for them to win a
Smitty,
game?
He can't.
He's
Okay.
got the players. You're telling me we got the MVP. We got Harden in one
So
of his
then-
best career
So
seasons.
then if he had
So
not
you're
done-
telling me that the players
so
aren't
then-
running his team.
So then if
You
they-
tell me the players aren't running his team.
I'm not saying that, but then how are the players not in fault when they blew two 28-point leads against
Because Doc
Atlanta?
Rivers is putting the wrong players out there at the wrong time.
The wrong players, dude.
I'm
Look at the
talking this
lineup.
season.
You wanted you wanted the starters out there, right?
No.
Would you want Furkan Korkmaz out in there
You're up
against Atlanta?
28.
Right. That's not coaching. That's the players.
It's coaching, dude.
Okay.
And like I said, now is time to care.
20. You're a coach
We didn't talk
yourself.
about the Sixers like this all
Deke,
season
you're a
because nobody
coach
gave a
yourself,
shit.
And you're going to sit here and say 28-point lead is solely on the coach. You're a coach
No, it's not.
yourself.
No, it's not solely on the coach.
But it happens twice.
the,
Yes, it
the
is.
coach is in
It's-
charge. The coach is in charge of what players are on the floor
But
at
go
what
look
time
at his lineups.
and for how long.
Go look at the lineups that he used against Atlanta.
We're,
Who
ba-
did you want him to use?
we're bouncing all around. We're saying last year counts. It doesn't count. Let's focus on this
I
year.
am. I'm focusing on this year. 54
This year.
wins, best year since 2001. Give them credit. Harden and Embiid are both healthy.
They're
How
still losing
about
the second round. It's
MVP.
all right.
Go ahead, say that.
How about
I
John?
don't think they're that healthy.
How about John Rahm winning the Masters?
No one cares.
I
That was a
care.
pretty good
I
comeback.
wanted to see Liv win just for shits
Pretty
and
good
giggles.
comeback. Brooks
don't
Brooks
care.
choked it away.
No one cares about that.
I can't.
I'd rather talk about the Ireland USA women's soccer team that was on at
Who
that time.
won?
I don't know. I was just flipping through the channels.
So you watched and didn't know who won.
Ireland was winning at
Doc
the time.
Rivers, top 10 coach of all time, and you guys are ripping him based on
Oh,
playoffs.
whoa,
What?
What?
Ring. He has one ring, dude.
Okay.
Doc Rivers
What?
is top 10 coach of all time
Look
now.
at Nate. How many wins? Look
In
it up,
Philly?
please.
Wait, in Philly
It's
or
just all in
NBA?
general. In
No,
general.
dude, it's no.
I don't
In
know about
general.
that, dude.
Dude,
He's not-
he
He's
sucks
not
in
top 10 in wins.
Schmitty,
in the
he
league.
sucks in the playoffs.
He's not top 10 in the wins
Say
in the
it.
league.
Don't spray it, brother.
He may be top 10 in wins, but he's not a top 10 coach of all time.
I
Schmitty, he
gotta
sucks
use
in
my
the
I gotta
playoffs.
use my handy
Yeah.
dandy friend in Google because
This is where I'm saying words
I'm sorry
matter.
that I
Like
don't know the top
Harden
10
is the
winningest
assist,
coaches in NBA
has the
basketball.
most, the average
He's
assists
top
per
10.
game,
Top
Thank you,
10.
but it doesn't
Thank
have
you.
the most assists.
If he's
Right, that's where
if he's
it's
top 10, he would have more than one ring.
Thank you.
He would have more
Yeah,
than
he
one
would.
ring
Yeah, he
with the
would.
team that was
He's got
stacked.
1,000 wins as a coach.
All right, cool. That's great.
Great, but he's only got one ring with a
Let's show
stacked
for
team.
it.
How many
He's
rings
got
does
one
Larry
ring to
Brown
show for
have?
those
Yeah, how
1,000
many rings
wins.
does Larry Brown have?
He's got
You call
one.
him a
He's
Hall
got
of Fame
one
coach?
and an NCAA
Okay.
championship.
Okay.
Larry Brown is actually one ahead of Doc Rivers in the wins.
2.
2 wins ahead. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm not a good math guy.
And then
Tenth
Doc,
coach in
Larry
NBA
Brown also
history
coached in the ABA.
with 1,000
Don't
wins.
slam the mic.
With
Rivers is
1,000 wins.
yeah, I don't
I'm
know.
sorry.
I'm with Smitty on this one. I think
You
I
guys
think you could
Smitty,
argue that.
I'm sorry. Doc could have top 3 wins of all time. He's not a top 10 coach of all
Because he
time.
blows leads. He blows them.
You're just like passing it off that Doc.
Has Don Nelson
Because
won a ring?
dude, he had a 3-1 lead every time.
No, I don't
Nate,
remember him.
Rivers.
Nate, when a team
old
blows a
Sacramento's
28-point
coach?
lead, is it
And when
soft?
Dallas,
a team,
right? Too,
when a
Don-
team blows a 3-1 lead in the
No,
playoffs.
I don't think Don Nelson has
I don't
a
think
ring.
Don Nelson has a
I
ring.
don't think
Smitty,
he
is that
does.
on the players or the coach when you blow a 3-1
Is he
lead?
up there in wins?
Answer
Second.
the question. Is that a player or
Wow.
a coach?
He
Dude,
coached
maybe that's just
forever
the-
though.
yeah. I was gonna say he just coached for
1,000
so long.
wins and over 300 and
He has
300
one more-
wins with all different
Smitty, he has
franchises.
one more championship win that all of us haven't.
How about
Commissioner combined.
Spolstra? Where's he at on the
Or
wins list?
Spoelstra, he's not even.
No,
on
He's
it.
not
on
even
there.
anywhere near
Yeah,
there.
he's
You're,
not
How
on
many
you
there.
guys
He
are
hasn't been
championships? I'm
doing
just
it long
asking.
enough.
How many
He's at-
championships
he's
does he
at
have?
704 wins.
339 wins
He's got
with the
3
Magic.
championships.
416
Four.
wins.
You
with
take
the
him over
Celtics.
Doc?
But
Yes.
his team was stacked.
Was
All
it?
right, but you gonna take him over
Spolstra's
Doc?
The first
Yes.
championship that Spoelstra won with D Wade or was that Pat Riley?
That was,
Riley as the
That
coach
was-
the
that
first
was
time.
Riley.
and then he
Riley
went
was
to-
the coach.
Then he went to
Yeah.
GM.
Yeah.
yeah, no.
But Spolstra has.
He's got
Sure.
3 with LeBron, or well, 2.
He had
with-
he had
he
prime
has
LeBron.
3.
That's
Nate,
Miami was
Nate,
prime LeBron.
Nate, listen to this.
They
So
only-
do you,
no,
do
they
you,
won
do you
3.
move him ahead of
Nate,
Doc then?
Nate, these are all different teams. He's not a good coach. 66 win season, 62 win season, 56
Smitty, they
win
don't-
season.
they
How many
don't
rings?
anything.
57 win season.
How many rings?
56, 53.
How
51.
many
Smitty.
rings?
That's like he just said. Larry Brown has won. Is he a bad coach? Dude,
No,
he
he's
has
not a
like
bad
8
coach, but he
seasons
also
of
won an
55
NCAA
plus
championship
wins.
with Danny Manning
I'm
and
not-
4
I'm
dudes.
not gonna-
55 plus
I'm
wins.
not going to
Smitty.
say Doc Rivers.
I mean, Doc
is a
Rivers won a
bad-
championship as a player,
You're
right?
right. You
Doc
guys are like,
Rivers isn't
how
a
many
horrible
times?
coach, but
55 wins like 10
maybe a
times
little
as a coach.
overrated.
Smitty.
55 wins.
Smitty.
Okay.
You're
yeah,
not going
okay,
to convince me
yeah,
that he's a
you're only
top
going-
10 coach.
Oh, well, he is.
He's not, dude.
Okay.
By
In-
win,
in
by
numbers.
wins, yes.
Because
By
of his stats
championship,
and numbers,
strategy,
Yes.
all that business,
Because
no.
of his
He's got like
wins.
300 wins with 4 different franchises. Who else has that? And take him to the playoffs.
I just got to say, I'm going to be honest here. Speaking for myself, and I'm sure a lot of viewers, the yelling,
Shut up,
you
DJ.
got to bring it down.
Take that a level.
That's all of us.
I just think it's funny. You guys like,
collectively the
we
yelling.
talk about like the players, and we want to talk about Harden, we want to talk about Castellanos, we want to talk about Hurts, but now all of a sudden, every time it goes wild, like it's the coach's fault. It's the coach's fault. It's the coach's fault that they blew 28-point leads. The players have nothing to do with that. That's crazy.
I agree with you there.
Now with Castellanos or Harden,
No, you guys want to blame
What?
the players
Castellanos
for
or
everything.
Harden?
he brought Castellanos and Harden. No,
I'm saying you don't want to ever. You always want to blame the players. It's never the coaches. Think about it.
no. I said the reason they're not going to win is because of the coach. That's
what I'm
my
saying.
concern
You're
for the
not
playoffs.
blaming
And
the
then,
players.
so are we blaming the players, and it's an issue, right?
No. I think the players have a lot of accountability when you blow 2 games of
It's
28
a
points.
lose-lose
Not to
situation.
mention Ben Simmons missed
Okay,
like
if we're gonna blame the players,
15
no.
free throws.
If you want to blame the players, then blame Embiid because he was absolute dog shit in the fourth quarters
Yes.
of those games.
Yes.
Okay, and
If
I
you-
agree with that.
All right, then blame Embiid. You really want to blame the MVP?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I just think
you're
that's,
1 of 8 in Game 7 is Doc Rivers' fault. That's what you're telling me in the Atlanta series. 1 of 8.
no, but I think you need to adjust.
He
Or
has no
draw up
adjustment.
So
better
now you
offensive
guys want to
schemes.
take Embiid off the court and put him in
No,
backup center.
no. What
that's
we're
not what I'm
saying is you
saying.
need to adjust as the game goes on.
What do you adjust with what? Who are you putting on the
Draw
court?
up better plays or
Exactly.
better looks.
Okay.
If you see something they're capitalizing on that you
Okay.
guys aren't.
Or get the
Alright.
ball out of Embiid's
Okay.
hands. Say, hey, Embiid's cold this quarter. Somebody else has to step up.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll run it through him. Or her.
He's
you
been
know.
with the Sixers and he has 2 seasons of 50 wins and 49.
All right, that's
49,
that's great.
49
dude.
and 23 in a
That's
72
great.
game
If they
season.
lose in the
51
second
and
round
31
again,
and
Smitty,
50
They lose the second
Smitty.
round. The whole let Josh
Smitty,
Harris.
that's what I'm saying.
take
Like
the team.
who are we who can we blame then? If they lose in the second round again, who can we blame this time?
Blame them all.
The fans? We gotta blame the
them all.
fans again?
Yeah.
The fans are too mean again?
Yeah.
Are we gonna blame us?
Whatever.
Because
That's
it's our
fine.
fault?
Fine. Blame
Or
Rivers.
do you blame Doc for not having them prepared for different teams, or having said, "Oh, this is a scheduled loss."
Okay.
Well, it's
Everybody in the NBA has scheduled losses in
It's-
this, so stop
It's
that.
different with the playoffs. Though.
54 wins this year
You
with
should have them
injuries.
prepared.
54 wins this year when having Harden miss
My
a
head
month
hurts.
and
Can we
a
go
half.
home?
54 and
Yeah.
Maxey out for a month.
But that's all good and well. But if you can't prove anything in the playoffs, that means
But
nothing.
you're throwing it all on the coach. It's nothing to do with the players. So if Embiid goes against Boston in Game 2 and goes 5 for 25 from the field,
That's his fault.
you're going to say it's Doc Rivers'
That's his fault.
because that's exactly what happened in the Atlanta series, and you're sitting here blaming Doc Rivers.
To be continued.
You are.
Yes, we will see. This time next week, it should be 4 games in, and it should be a sweep.
Should we all show up in suits next week?
Yeah.
Birthday
Black-
suits.
I just
Black
can't believe you
suits.
guys are blaming the coach.
We
can wear black armbands.
It's like black armbands,
Black
black
armbands.
suits.
Dude. Asinine.
How?
The
All right.
28-point leads on the players.
I'm shutting it down. I'm shutting it down, Bruno.
But it's not on
Look,
the Doc
folks,
for not switching the
we've got-
game plan.
We've got
28
one more show.
He also needs to switch his game plan around.
Okay.
We've got one more show left in the studio here.
Okay. Go to
Right?
the box score
Nate?
against Atlanta.
One more show left in studio.
Yeah, I think so.
We will be moving on, but we will still be moving on.
Yeah, we're
We'll still be on.
Yeah,
We'll
we're
just be
not
moving on.
We will be leaving the studio. So next week will be our last week in studio. So make sure you tune in. But that doesn't mean we're going away. We're all together.
It's
We're all
so
part of-
still on.
We're all part of this.
hard
We're
to
still going on.
say goodbye
Just might be a different format.
to we should play that.
We'll get a
As
little
our
boys
song.
to men going
Yeah,
next
yeah.
week. Nate, you gotta rack that up for next week.
And I'll take.
But thanks for hanging out with us this week. Thanks again to John Gonzales for jumping on with us. Yeah, Sixers playoffs start Saturday. Smitty will be much happier next week. We'll still yell at him, but he'll be much happier next
You
week.
guys will blame the
And
coach.
until
No,
then,
it's ridiculous.
be excellent to
It's
each other.
ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. It's really ridiculous.
Flame wants to do a show from his hot tub.
I guarantee you,
Yeah,
agrees with me.
that's
You blaming the players on a 28-point lead. That's all.
Uh-huh.
That's
Because
crazy.